And that was a difficult corner entry for the Dutch. They're absolutely tying up.
Meals are McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day. With your choice of a
Clock
McDouble.
stops with a third athlete crosses the line. The Canadians Reveled Eldering
You see it?
was the back-to-back Olympic champions.
Promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality. Get noticed
And that was
remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Après de retour sur le territoire de la Suisse. Attention, Watts, le tir arrêt là,
Leaving the element.
Après de retour.
On the rooftop. And we'll start the rooftop camp out with no camping equipment. The more money they raise for muscular dystrophy, the more equipment they get to survive at Edmonton.
Celebrating that, anxiously watching.
In this incredible cause.
Celebrate.
At EdmontonRooftopCampout.ca.
Any project, commercial or residential, when you need metal and you want it cut or bent fast, this is the place. Metal Supermarkets. Huge inventory, amazing service, and free parking. Free. That's a pretty big deal when you're saving up for something special. Yep, only 3 more payments and this bad boy's mine. And the 1, and the 2, and Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for... And maybe a little polka too. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Celebrating that, anxiously watching. What's the kid got this time? Goals in each of the first 2. And on the penalty shot,
On Sports 1440.
Après de retour sur le territoire de la Suisse. Attention, Watts, le tir arrêt là,
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And that was a difficult corner entry for the Dutch. They're absolutely tying up. The Canadians, the clock stops when the third athlete crosses the line. The big three have done it. For the Canadians, back-to-back Olympic champions.
A snowy Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And of course, tonight the game is Lotto Max, where you have an opportunity to win $55 million. Or they also have a 1 million max million. So check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor. We have Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, of course, running things over at YouTube. You can get involved. You can text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We got lots to discuss on the show today. Of course, Canada, we know who they're facing. There's been no upsets in the qualifying round after the preliminary round, but no real surprise. I didn't think any team like Germany getting by France, no surprise, 5-1. Switzerland shuts out Italy 3-0. Denmark was close, 3-2 to Czechia, although, it was... Czechia was up big, but then Denmark really came on in the third period and outshot them. And so I thought probably made that a little too close for comfort. And currently after 20 minutes, they're just starting the second, but Sweden is leading Latvia 2-0. Czechia is going to take on Canada. Germany is going to face the number 3 Slovaks. Finland, number 4, will be going up against number 5 Switzerland. And USA is waiting on the winner of Sweden and Latvia. I think we all would agree it's most likely going to be Sweden, and they'll go from there. Kempe and Landeskog have the goals today for Sweden. Oiler fans, you probably were not. Maybe some of you diehards were, but some Edmonton Oilers making their presence felt in that game. Leon Draisaitl opened up the scoring on a power play from Szymanski and Stützle. Later on in the game, Szymanski scored from Draisaitl insider, and then Nico Sturm scored. Draisaitl assists to that one from former Oiler Tobias Reeder, which, as you recall, he cost the Oilers playoffs 1 year. You remember, sort of making the playoffs 1 year. He didn't, but it's kind of a running gag. If you know, you know. So no surprises there. And I know I saw some people saying, well, why wouldn't you just have the potential where if there was an upset, the number 1 seed still gets the highest seed? It's simple. And I'm surprised that I saw so many national people not understand this. Look, you can't have teams, if you're a low and you have an upset, and now you're going to have to play earlier in the day, right? They have it predetermined. So you look at Sweden will play in the latest. Whoever plays the late game today plays the late game tomorrow. So you're making it as fair as you can for the rest for the players. Makes sense. So there wasn't any upsets, or at least there hasn't been any. Doesn't look like there'll be. So USA gets Sweden. Away we go. Canada, Czechia. That's a pretty good matchup for Canada. I don't think anybody's going to be that concerned, really. There's always a chance for an upset, but I fully expect Canada, as they've done so far in this tournament, to take care of business. They haven't overlooked any of their opponents. I think they've dominated a lot of games start to finish. Meanwhile, women's hockey will have Canada and USA. No surprise. That would be like if you had an easiest prediction of a podium, top 2 spots, Canada, US in the women's Olympics hockey, it's the easiest one. And Canada played well, but didn't dominate yesterday because they're not that dominant. Like, if they can upset USA, it'll be a big upset. Now, I think it was, can't remember what year it was, 2002 maybe, but USA had kind of dominated Canada leading up to that tournament. But the games are all close. That's the difference. If you go now and look at it, it hasn't been close. It's been a 5-game winning streak that's 29-7. So that would not be the same situation as what happened a few years ago. Canada, of course, did get over the weekend. Maybe you watched it, maybe you didn't, but lots of medal opportunities and some medal victories for Canada, which is fantastic. We're now up to 12 medals. As earlier today, speed skating, Canada gets a gold in the women's team pursuit that goes along with the women's 3,000-meter bronze and the men's 500-meter bronze. We have a snowboarding medal. Well, that was earlier on the weekend. In skiing, Megan Oldham wins her second medal, a gold in big air. Michael Kingsbury won the dual moguls in gold. So those two athletes, each with 2 medals, a gold and a silver for Kingsbury, a gold and a bronze for Oldham. And I don't know if any of you watched that or not, but man, big air is awesome. Very exciting to watch. And Canada, of course, will have some more medals here coming up in the next few days. The women's hockey team is guaranteed at least a silver. I'd be stunned if the men's team isn't getting a medal. And in curling, the men are 6-1, and Homan from Beaumont, after a slow start, has now won 3 in a row. Beat the undefeated Swedes today in curling. That was a great game that went down to the 10th end, and Homan got a 2 in the 10th to win that game. And so they are back in the playoff hunt. Because, man, a loss, that would have been devastating for them. You dropped to 3-4, and that probably might have knocked them out. So a huge win if you're a curling fan. I'm kind of surprised about the controversy, Connor Halley, regarding curling. Like, it just, like, the Swedish media, they just keep going on it. It's wild to me. Absolutely wild.
I don't even think the athletes care anymore. Like, it's been done. It's been talked about. We'll have a curling guest to break it down tomorrow and, talk about the entirety of the event. But, yeah, Gregor, it's kind of stolen the show. Mark Kennedy, I don't think his popularity has ever been more. Like, he, for the wrong reason, perhaps, but this guy's everywhere right now on social media. He's carved out a little bit of a niche for himself as the villain of the Olympics. But I liked it. I liked that he, fired back in kind of a sport that's got a reputation for being tame in a country that's being polite. I like the fire from the senior Olympian for our country.
Yeah. You look at it's kind of wild. People, and hey, we've had Mark on the show. Mark actually lives right around the street from me. Like, you won't meet a nicer guy. And people are like, oh, geez, they told each other to bleep off. Like, are we that soft? It's no different than people getting upset about what Matthew Tkachuk said. What time and what are we living in? Hey, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And you actually think that bothers Leon Draisaitl? Like, seriously? The best chirps are usually ones that are true. It's true. He lost twice in the Stanley Cup final. Now, if you're Connor McDavid, and I know him and Leon are super tight. If it's late in that game and it's the gold medal game and you're beating Tkachuk, you don't think McDavid's going to be saying something to him? Of course he would. It would be awesome. It's great. Now, he's probably not going to be as a vote. Now, I don't know why Brady Tkachuk's anything. What the hell is that guy won? Nothing. And I like Brady Tkachuk as a player, but, and hey, when you're chirping, you don't have to win anything to be a chirper. But if you're actually offended by that, you might want to reevaluate. Or maybe you've never played any sort of athletics at a high level to think that's a bad chirp. That's like one of the tamest chirps you can have. It's not offensive. It's not even false. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that at all. So we'll see. But I look at, we got text coming in already. Hey guys, I'm with you. I have to say, Big Air, haven't watched it before, but big fan of it. And I know, hey, I watched Oldham yesterday, and in between shoveling today, I was able to watch the men's. And I don't know, Cons, if you saw it, but it was wild, man. That is Big Air. You have it. So Mac Forlan goes for America, and he's the second last skier, and he gets a 98.25, the highest mark ever handed out in Big Air. And he's going crazy. Everybody's going crazy. Like, oh my God, this guy probably won the gold medal. Because no one to that point ever had been higher than 98.25. Right? But as we see in sports, man, it's never over until it's over. And so he's down at the bottom, and everybody's kind of like, waiting to see what's going to go on. And up steps Tormod Frostad. Remember the name, Connor Halley. He steps up. He needs to beat a 98.25. And what does he do? He gets a 98.5. Like, you want to talk theater and drama? I'm not a Big Air fan. There's no Canadians involved in it, but I just love competition. And you like seeing something that's never happened before. And he gets up there and he does it. And it was unbelievable to see that. What a score. Absolute crazy stuff. So it's wild to see. And you know what? That's what sports all about, man. To me, that's what makes it great. And I got it thinking, if you're Tormod, you are going to have a hell of a night. And like, think about it. You have a best score ever at 98.25, and you're pretty excited because your odds of winning there are pretty damn good. Like, the guy needs to be unreal. So I don't even know if you can be mad when the guy beats you, because you're like, well, I just did my best. I've done up until that point, no one had ever been better in the world. So, geez, that's a tough silver, but you still should be able to feel good about it. And that's what makes this awesome, man. I love the Olympics for lots of different reasons. And you watch different events that you normally don't watch, and you see athletes just doing ridiculous things. Like, you watch that Big Air, and I know that that's what they practice for, but the skill level and just the courage to do it, to launch yourself in the air. Because, hey, if you overturn or underturn and don't land it properly, like, it can hurt. It can hurt bad, but it was wild stuff, man. Wild to watch. So see about that. Cons, anything stand out for you this weekend?
So much of it did. You talk about just kind of getting into it. I was watching the the woman this morning, Team Pursuit. And like you said, like, I'm not that familiar with it. I know the big names and I know they were kind of defending champions, but I was so into that one. That was appointment television for me. And just to watch what they were doing, it just seemed like such a veteran race of a team that knew what they had to do. They fell behind early against Netherlands and then just slowly worked their way back. No, freaking out or anything as you're going into it. Just do our skate, do what we do. And it was like a 10th of a second each lap. They just knocked it off, and then came back around to win it. And, probably a pretty good distance, actually. So that was a really good one for me. Getting to watch Canada play hockey is always fun to see. Marie-Philip Plant had a couple goals. That was nice to see. They're going to need way more against the United States, but that was a good game. And yeah, I think just everything has been awesome. Just nice to throw the TV on. It doesn't matter what the event is, just enjoy it.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So we got a loaded show for you. Lots to talk about over the weekend in sports and more. John Michael Lyles, former NHLer, former Olympian, will join us to talk Olympics and also the Avs. For a team that's very good, I got to think they got to add a bigger defenseman. But we'll see what he has to say. Jeremy Wotherspoon, former Canadian speed skater. He's the Norway sprint coach. He is going to join us. Can't wait for that conversation. TR will be by. Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. We got Jason Strudwick, Spec, DVD, Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning. We also unveil a new segment we're going to do on the show today, our stats of the day. So that's coming in 3:40. So if you're a stats guy, you like some different stats, you'll be sure to want to tune in for that on different sports and different times. So it should be a lot of fun. So busy show today. We'll take a quick break and we'll return with.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the nerve center of game-watching greatness, my sanctuary, my Bro Zone.
Whoa, giant screen, comfy chairs. You've thought of everything.
Almost everything. Where are the snacks? We can't cheer on Canada without the proper fuel.
Way ahead of you. Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the official snack of the Bro Zone.
For a truly Canadian snack to cheer on our truly Canadian athletes, you need Wilhauk Beef Jerky, made with Alberta pride, right here in Leduc.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
If you're looking for non-stop sports coverage, tune into Sports 1440. Edmonton's only sports radio station.
24/7 coverage comes at you with expert commentary, in-depth analysis,
and so much more.
We are Sports 1440.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedorik, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle oodle-noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodle-noodle.ca. Oodle-noodle.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design, build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle-noodle at oodle-noodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle-noodle at oodle-noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodle-noodle.ca. Oodle-noodle.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Team Canada is finally back in action, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.220, welcome back. Oilers have made a move today. Some people at first are going to be like, what? But we'll explain it. Matt Savoy has been loaned to Bakersfield, doesn't require waivers. And he can play a game because now when you're sent down to the minors, you have to play at least one game before you're recalled. So he can do that. And it's basically, this is all cap related. It's tied into Adam Henrique, who's going to be activated from LTIR coming out of the break. And this allows them some savings because now Savoy isn't on the cap either, and that's really all it's tied into. But I would expect Matt Savoy will be back on the roster. I think probably with the trade freeze, I think when that is over, you'll see some other moves by the Edmonton Oilers to will tie into some things. So in case you're wondering about Matt Savoy, this does not mean the Oilers are down or this term move. Cap but with the new rules, you do it now. And a quick look at the Condors and their schedule. They will be playing. I think their next game is they play tomorrow. So I said, well, he could get into a game, maybe get a few games. So now, does he need to be in it? No, but this is a way he'll get a game or two, and then away they go. Now, Sweden, by the way, it looks like they are definitely going to be playing the United States as they are up 3-0, and they're into the final stages of the second period. As we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's, we're stop in this month, and guess what? Frank's Red Hot is on the menu. Could put that on anything. McChicken, oof. Try it. It's good. So you want to dip it in your nuggets? Can do it as well, but only for a limited time at McDonald's. Former NHLer, also former Olympian, and current analyst for the Colorado Avalanche, John Michael Lyles joins us. John, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks a lot for having me.
Hey, I appreciate it. I guess you, as somebody who has obviously played in the Olympics, played in the NHL, how interested are you in these Olympics? Where would you rank it on a scale? Is it like a 10 out of 10 for you, having participated in it, know just what a thrill it is to be there?
Yeah, I would say very close to a 10 out of 10. Having played in 2006, actually in Italy as well. Familiar with just kind of what's going on over there. And it's been fun to watch. It's awesome having the NHL players back in the Olympics. I think it just makes for such a great product. And it's been fun to watch so far, and extremely excited for the quarterfinal matchups here, and been watching the women's hockey as well quite a bit. Just really fun to see just the women's hockey and the level that they're playing at as well. And Team USA has been fun to watch, and excited for that Team Canada, Team USA final.
Well, that was probably the most predictable one, USA and Canada on the women's side. And Team USA has been a juggernaut heading into these Olympics. They've spanked Canada, and then they spanked them again when they met them in the preliminary rounds. And no doubt in my mind, they are the favorite strongly on the women's side. They're too quick right now. Team Canada opted. It's funny, you mentioned you played in the 2006 Olympics. That was the year Canada kind of opted for an older team, and it didn't work for them. And Canada's women program this time went for an older team, and it has not worked.
Yeah, and I would actually say that being on Team USA in 2006, we had a bit of an older group as well. I think I was one of the younger players myself. Rick DiPietro, a few other guys kind of on that team. But Chris Chelios was on our team at 44 years old, and international hockey is different. And Canada and the U.S. in 2006, unfortunately, neither of us were able to. I don't think get past the quarterfinals. I remember we lost to Finland in the quarterfinals, I believe 4-3. It's interesting, when you get these countries, playing against each other, playing for Olympic medals. And, it's just when you have those single elimination games, it just, anything can happen. You get a hot goaltender, you get out to an early lead. It can make just for such a tough matchup at times. And, whether that's women's hockey, men's hockey, it doesn't matter. And yeah, you said it, Team Canada this year opted for a little bit of an older team. It's been fun to watch, the women's U.S. team. One of my good buddies actually that I played on the U.S. program with is the head coach, John Wroblewski. And I think he's done a really good job with them as well, just with some of their offensive tactics and just listening to, some of his pregame speeches and just, some of the ways that they've approached the game. You said it, that U.S. team skates so well. And I've just been, amazed at the way that they're able to move the puck, the way they're able to create offense. And some of those, the women on the back end are really fun to watch, just the way that they skate as well. And, you add that to the men's hockey with, what Team USA and Team Canada have been doing. I think it's, we've got a fun few days ahead of us.
You look at this, I want to get your thoughts, John, on like Team Sweden. I think a lot of us thought, like, barring some miracle upset, they were going to face the USA. And so they're going with Markstrom today in goal. They played to him. Like, do you think their plan was actually to play Markstrom back to back? Or are they playing Markstrom today because they're going to start one of their other goalies tomorrow?
Oh, man. No, you're asking the wrong guy. I've played against Jacob Markstrom. He can be so good when he is on. And then, there's times where, it's for one reason or another, it seems like, the puck gets past him, more easily than you'd like. And so I don't know. I mean, once again, I think in a tournament, we go back to the single elimination part. I think it's a lot of it is, it can be gut unless you have a clear cut number one that you're going with and you've essentially made it known that you're going with. I think a lot of times for, whether it doesn't matter who it's for, the U.S., it seems Connor Hellebuck is that guy. It seems like Canada, John Cooper's made it known that Jordan Binnington is that guy. But, beyond that, I think if you don't have that clear-cut number one that the coach says, this is my guy, this is who we're going with, I think it could be almost like a gut decision on the day of the game or the night before the game. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm excited. I think, it's awesome that Gabe Landeskog is back playing for Team Sweden. We saw him go down early January for the Avs, and he didn't play a game leading up to the Olympics, but I got a chance to talk to him at morning skate, one of the games prior to the guys heading over to Italy. And he said he was feeling really good. And I think we were all kind of wondering, exactly, how he may come out. And I think he's been really, really good for Team Sweden. So it's going to be fun. It'll be a tough matchup for the U.S. And like I said, it'll be a really, really entertaining next few days.
I want to switch gears now to the Avalanche. And obviously, we've seen McKinnon and Makar, and everybody's seen them kind of dominate, go in the old school Russian 5 combination with that forward line, and then Makar and Taves, and they've really dominated.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Avs overall decor. Do they need you got Malinsky and you got Sammy Girard. Do you think they need another big body when you look at the cup winning teams lately here? And even the Avs when they won in 2022, like you had Makar and Taves, but the rest of their guys were pretty damn big. Josh Manson was unreal for them. And even the Johnson. Yeah. Do you expect them to go out and add, not just a big guy, but you know what I mean? Like a big guy who can move, who's got some size?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me, and this is nothing against Sam Girard or Sam Malinsky. I think they both have been, really, really good this year. Malinsky gets a 4-year extension for the way that he's played. It wouldn't shock me just knowing how hard the playoffs are and the physical toll it takes. I mean, you go back to the 22 cup run for the Avs. You mentioned Josh Manson came over at the deadline. He was an amazing pickup for the Avs and played some just really, really good hockey. Bo Byram, might have been the Avs' best player in the Stanley Cup final, not named Cale Makar. And so, you go back to that. Sam Girard went down in the second round with a broken sternum, which forced Jack Johnson into the lineup. So the way that I look at it is it wouldn't shock me if they add somebody, just given that you can never have too much depth in the playoffs, and that goes forward, that goes D. But I think especially when you look at, the Avs D and whether that's somebody that steps in and bumps one of the Avs D out to the 7th position, or whether that's somebody that could, be the 7th D and then slide in if somebody were to get hurt. It wouldn't shock me if they do add some depth and some size on that back end. Eric Johnson in that 22 run, big body, really, really just solid play throughout those playoffs. Jack Johnson, was the 7th D and then stepped in and played really well down the stretch when Girard went down. So having depth and you look at the most recent Stanley Cup champions, when you look at the Florida Panthers, they had depth on the back end. If somebody went down, there's somebody that stepped in. And I just feel like you can never have too much depth. You can never have too much size, especially if it's somebody, because of the way the Avs play, if it's somebody that has that size but can skate and get the puck up to the forwards efficiently, that's the Avs type of game. And it wouldn't shock me if that's a player that the Avs target.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's definitely something they look at. What about up front? Because we know, hey, good teams are always looking to tweak, and it doesn't always have to be a superstar player. I think the Avs have the top end guys. Do you see a position up front that they would like to add depth or, maybe a penalty killer or somebody in their top 12?
Yeah, I could see that as well. It wouldn't shock me if they add up front. When they're healthy, their top 6 are very tough to contain. But we all know the toll that the playoffs take on players. And so is there somebody that makes sense that could be a third line guy that potentially could slide up if there was, somebody went down with injury? Is it a third center? Jack Drury, I think, has been, very good as the third center so far this year. But, is he that Stanley Cup winning third center, or is he a Stanley Cup winning, fourth center? I think that's a question that a lot of people have had. And listen, like I said, Jack Drury has had a very, very good year. That line with him, Parker Kelly on the left, and Kibbe Ranta on the right has been, the Avs' best line at times over, certain stretches. And, hopefully I think, what I'm hoping, and I think what a lot of Avs fans are hoping, and I think what a lot of, I think what Avs management is hoping and coaching staff is that Logan O'Connor is finally trending towards getting back. I know he was slated to come back in November. I talked with him recently, and, I think if they can figure out a way to get him back and playing before the playoffs and be a contributor in the playoffs, that would be a huge boost to their bottom six. I could see the Avs adding. Now, what does that look like? I don't know if it's top six or bottom six. I would say probably more likely bottom six than top six.
Okay. And what are the chances you think he will be back for the playoffs?
Oh, I don't know. I just talking with him, it sounded like he was back on the ice, which I think is a positive step. Like I said, they were hoping for November. It sounds like he's dealt with, one or two things kind of on the side with, recovery. And so he didn't slot back as quick as they had hoped. But once again, it's all a matter of, how do the next, 3, 4, 5 weeks play out for him in order for, him being a possibility before the playoffs and into the playoffs. And, I'm fingers crossed with everybody else. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's just a matter of, things have to be treated delicately and treated correctly and make sure that, you're trending in the right direction at the right time and not necessarily forcing him in earlier than maybe would be the right decision.
John Michael Lyle joins us, former NHLer, former Olympian, of course, current analyst for the Colorado Avalanche. And John, it's a lot of people have been talking about it ever since the Four Nations last year, Canada, US, and that was phenomenal hockey. I know the rules here are a little bit different, although we did see some of a scrap, although it wasn't really any punches from it, but still. You look at this game, and I know not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but right now, no one would be surprised if the Canadian men and American men met in the final. And I think there's probably a lot of people in North America, that's what they want to see. It's each other's biggest rival for sure. You, of course, can you kind of put into words, you think, like, just kind of where the U.S. program is and where, like, the mindset of how we're like, God, we got to beat Canada. Because I really sense that from American fans and the players, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Now, listen, this is if the U.S. and Canada meet in the final, I think it would be, it would essentially be just made for TV, game. But it's, you still got a ways to go. And I know that firsthand. Like I said, we lost to Finland in the quarterfinals. Finland ended up going on and I believe winning the silver in 2006, losing to Sweden. It's hard. It's hard, especially I go back to the single elimination. It's a lot like the NCAA where just if you can get hot at the right time and you can be, playing your best hockey at the right time, that's how you win gold in the Olympics. And the U.S., Canada, it is a bit different than the Four Nations. It's, it's international, IIHF hockey. And so, yeah, definitely different. But I think everybody as a U.S. fan, as a U.S. player, you see the success that the U.S. has had over the, call it last, 10, 12 years at World Junior. And I think that, everybody's looking at it like, okay, this has to translate to the next level. It has to translate to an Olympic medal. It has to translate to these different things. And, the U.S., they won, gold at the World Championships for the first time in 92 years, I believe, in May. And so there are, there's some successes, but in the end, I think USA Hockey, if you're a part of USA Hockey, and I had the privilege of putting on the jersey a lot of times, you look to that Olympic gold as kind of the benchmark. Can we win that Olympic gold against Canada best on best? And, if they do meet in the final, I'm sure that it would be, something that everybody within USA Hockey, everybody that's had a part in USA Hockey, everybody that's ever played for USA Hockey would be focusing on and pulling for, because it would be kind of that crowning achievement, of the last, 20, 30 years of USA Hockey and what they've strived for.
John, you, of course, have been watching the Avs very closely. Nathan McKinnon's one of the most dominant players in the world. And then you throw him on a line with McDavid and Celebrini, the youngster who's just been phenomenal this season. And like that, I know that they're not a regular line all the time, but when they are together, like you've seen some pretty good lines in Colorado, but that kind of takes it to another level.
It really does. McDavid, we all know how good he is. And I get to watch Nathan McKinnon on a nightly basis, which is just a privilege. And you throw in Cale Makar and that conversation as well. But the Avs last game before the Olympic break was actually at home against San Jose. And, the Avs ended up with a win. But Celebrini, just watching him, and, that was the third time the Avs had faced him this year. Just watching him and how good he is. It is amazing. And the fact that, you throw him on a line, and I say, like, that's, to me, that's the closest thing to a 19-year-old Sidney Crosby that I've seen.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid, he's a different player, right?
Yeah.
But like the compete level, I think Celebrini, I love Sid. I think Celebrini might skate better than Sid, even when Sid was 19 years old. And just, it's eerie how, when you watch him and the plays that he makes and the way that he reads the play, and he's not shortcutting anything. It's 200 feet. It's all over the ice. And I think that, to me, is the most impressive thing, and the thing that really makes me want to, say, like, hey, this is a 19-year-old Sidney Crosby that we're watching right now. And that's why it's so fun to watch him. And when he plays against the Avs, and you see McKinnon, because McKinnon has a tendency to really elevate when he plays against those guys that are like the next up-and-comers. And it's awesome to see, because it's almost like a boxing match of like, okay, it's a heavyweight match. We're going to go punch for punch and see who comes out on top. I love watching Macklin Celebrini, and the fact that, John Cooper, who is an awesome guy, an amazing coach. And he said, you know what, let's give the people what they want. People want us to be entertained, and, a Celebrini, McDavid, McKinnon line. Like, I don't know that there's many countries or many teams that can match up with a top line like that.
Yeah, it's, as a defenseman, you're kind of like, all right, because the one thing it's just like, okay, I don't know how the hell we're doing. But the thing about Celebrini that has impressed me most, he's made the transition to wing look just completely easy, and it does. Yeah. It's not always easy for guys, because you're used to as a center moving all the time, and he's made it look easily. But it's also just how quick he is on the forecheck. Like, he has got. Now, I know that some of the teams aren't all NHL players, so maybe that's it, but. My goodness, that's really what stood out to me, is just how quick he is on pucks and how much pressure he forces in turnovers.
And I think that speaks to just his ability to kind of process the game. The skating is there. He's obviously quick. He's got the skills, but the ability to process the game, moving from center to wing, is not easy. And we talk about Team Canada in years past, like, who's going to play with Sidney Crosby? Because it's not always easy to play with those top guys. And I would say, McKinnon on one wing and McDavid in the middle. Not everybody can play left wing with those two guys. And so to be able to shift over when you're a center, to shift over to left wing and still be successful and still be effective, I just think it speaks to how well he processes the game and thinks the game from a 200-foot perspective. And you go back to, like I said, you go back to 2010, I believe it was Chris Kunitz was on the left wing with Crosby, right? Like, it's that was a guy that could play with Sid and understood, where he had to be so that he wasn't in the way of Sid. And I think that, just the fact that Celebrini not only has the skating, the skill, but also the cerebral ability to play the wing and play it with Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon. The sky's the limit for this kid, and it's so fun to watch when you get those guys at 19 years old that are this good and just seem to, they're only going to get better.
John, great stuff, man. Really appreciate it. To enjoy the Olympics and enjoy the the final stretch drive before the playoffs in Colorado.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
There you go. That's John Michael Isles. When we come back, one of the fastest guys to ever put on the blades in Canada, Jeremy Wotherspoon. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Free trips, free iPads, a barbecue, a wood stove, the #1 dealer in the world. What? Who cares? How about no pressure, a great deal, finance rates as low as 0%, trade values you can be happy with, and an indoor showroom. And we're pretty good people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your fix. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Welcome to Silent Ice Center, the region's newest hockey and event center in Nisku. Featuring 2 NHL-size ice surfaces, premium seating, private suites, and an electric atmosphere. From elite hockey to major tournaments, concerts, and special events, this is where the action lives. And with Summit Restaurant overlooking the rink, every event is a full experience. Silent Ice Center, built for champions, built for the community. Book your ice, your event, or your next big night at Silent Ice Center. Email booking at silenticecenter.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.245. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Tuesday. If you're in the capital region, you likely have had a lot of shoveling the last 24 hours. Well, probably the last 12 hours more than anything else. So I woke up this morning, you're like, damn, it's a lot of snow. It was. So it's like you're on a mountain right now, but be safe out there. Roads are a little slick in areas, so get home safe. Now, it's not very often you get to talk to one of the fastest people in the world. And we're talking, nobody has won more World Cup sprint races than our next guest. He of course, has won Olympic gold medals. He's won 67 actually silver in the Nagano games, but 67 World Cup sprints, 49 at the 500 meters and 18 at 1,000 meters with 67. The next closest is Shawnee Davis at 58. Now, the youngster, Jordan Stalls, because he races both the 500, the 1,000, and the 1,500. If you add them all up, he might get him when it's all said and done. But to have that record for as long as he has, a pretty big deal. As we get to our skating report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. And Jeremy Wotherspoon joins us. Jeremy, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on, Jeremy. Obviously, one of the greatest speed skaters, not only in Canada but in the world. And obviously, I know you're coaching it, so obviously you're pretty still attached to it. But before, did you ever? When you grew up, was short track speed skating an option for you, or did that come in after you?
Yeah, it was actually more than an option. It was a necessity. We did a lot of short track. We had to find ways to train when we were in sort of the beginning and end of the season. So we skated on a hockey rink in the fall and in the spring, because where I grew up in Red Deer, we only had natural ice. So we had to wait for the winter, and for a lot of Canadians, short track has been it's just a normal part of of being a kid in a skating club for as long as I can remember.
So now, did you ever think? Because I watch it, like it's a very different strategy. Like there's lots more banging around, right, when you're on the short track. Did you ever compete in short track?
Yeah, definitely. It's it's a pretty fun sport to compete in. Because you can win without being the fastest person there. There are other ways to win.
Okay.
You can always find a way if you're a good racer. Whereas on long track, if you do your absolute best, if everyone does their absolute best, the fastest skater will win. There's no playing around with and wearing down the opposition, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So did you just obviously had a lot of success in long track? So why were you better long tracker than a short track?
I think I didn't really like being having to play around in a pack and feeling stuck. Sometimes when you're watching, you're hoping like, okay, come on, make a pass. You're watching one of your favorites, and to be in that position and knowing you want to make a pass, but you just can't quite get it done. It can be frustrating. And to be really good at short track, you kind of have to be a person who just can roll with it. You roll with it. In a weekend, you're going to have 10 or 12 races, and you can have really bad luck, and you get up, and the next race you just start over, and that's a tough. You have to be pretty gritty to handle that.
Okay. Now, obviously, lots about sprinting. You've done it your whole life, and you get into coaching. And it's funny, we see in lots of different sports, there's coaches that are coaching for different nations. And you're obviously with Norway, and we see that, we see a lot of, other coaches for different ones. How'd you get into that gig, and was coaching something that you always wanted to do?
It wasn't always something I wanted to do, but towards the end of my skating career, I had an opportunity to work with a development team actually in Germany, and ended up coaching there for 4 years and coaching skaters from, I think, 26 different countries, all skaters who were interested or really passionate about skating and wanted to pursue it, but didn't necessarily have a program or facilities in the country where they were from. And after that period, I had a connection in Norway, ended up moving here and taking a job as the national sprint coach here. And I've done this job for 10 years now. So it's kind of something I didn't always plan to do that ended up. I've been a coach, I think, longer than I was a skater now at an international level. So it's people always talk about me like the former skater who's a coach, but actually I've done more coaching than skating now in many ways.
So from when you skated until now, how has it changed? Like even from what you coach youngsters and I say youngsters, like, like the professionals compared to maybe what you were taught and coached?
I would say, everything has just, we've been able to learn from all the mistakes of the past. And that comes down to technique, to training, equipment, facilities. So if you take a lot of different areas and make medium to significant changes, the sport has improved as a whole a lot because of that. And when I was young, training was about, you got to get out there and you push yourself hard every day and do the most. If 20 hours a week is good, then maybe 25 hours a week is even better. And now it's a lot more. There's a lot more nuance to it than that. People realize that it's not just what you do and how much you do, but it's the quality of what you do, and the intention behind it makes a big difference. Knowing how you're going to connect this training to a race someday makes a big difference in the quality of that training and the way that you can learn from that training and improve that specific type of training over time. So I think I don't like to say people are smarter and better than before, because it's everything we know is largely built on the people before us. So we're just beneficial that there's been more accumulation of knowledge and experience over time.
Bang on. I love how you say that because I agree wholeheartedly. Sometimes I think it's kind of a slap in the face to previous generations. And I'm like, hey, if they would have had the technology and the education and the nutrition and all those sorts of things, how do we know what times people would have done, set in any sport, not just in speed skating, but in hockey and basketball and every different thing. There's way more focus on rest. You talked about it there, how it used to be like, you got to get more hours and more hours and hours. And like, well, wait a sec. Like if you're fatigued, then yeah, you're doing more, but it's not necessarily better. So I think it changes. When you, as an Olympian for Canada, now you've been coaching for Norway, are you torn at all when you get to these events? You're at the Olympics and you're there, obviously you're rooting for the Norwegians because you got a personal relationship, but then there's a Canadian in a race. How does that go?
Yeah, it's, I think the first thing I would say is, I always have kept pretty good contact with my Canadian counterparts because I always feel a connection there, and speed skating's largely it's a community where it's not new people at every competition. There's some new people and a lot of the same people all as you go around the world circuit, and so you get to know a lot of people and you get to have friends and from other countries that you never plan on. So it's quite easy, and I'd say it's quite easy to find yourself hoping for certain athletes and coaches to do well, even though they may not be from the country you grew up in or the country that you work for. Friendships are pretty important too. So it's a pretty dynamic, social environment, and it's nice to be part of it. And I think for me that's been important is having those connections, because it makes the sport a bit more of a I won't say a safer place, but a comfortable place. That's maybe better. To feel like I belong here, and I like being in the space of speed skating, and that's I think that's been important for me.
Jeremy Wotherspoon joins us, and Jeremy, having participated in the Olympics, I think firsthand just how important it is, how much work goes into it. And, I see it all the time in these sports, and I'm like, I love the celebration. And to me, I don't care. You win a bronze, you win a silver, you win a gold. It's unbelievable. And then I look at those athletes that train, and then you finish fourth in some cases by like a hundredth of a second. And it's wild. How much of coaching is kind of getting the athletes to embrace the moment and the pressure of an Olympic Games? How do you, because I know you teach a lot of technique, but how much just about, getting the athletes to understand how to maximize their skill at the most important time, the Olympics?
Yeah, that's one of the things that separates the most skilled athletes from the athletes who win. Because, if you look at the 500-meter race in the Olympics a few days ago, I coached 2 guys in that race, and probably the top 12 to 15 skaters were able to be on the podium, but you can't get, but they don't all have a good race that day. Maybe a third race is normal, a third race is a little better than normal, a third race is a little worse than normal, and for them. And the key is there's not just one solution how to manage yourself in a stressful situation, and that's what takes. It doesn't just take experience; it takes learning from the experience. And I think there's a difference there that not a lot of people know about. Of course, you hear people say, "Oh, it's good to get experience," but you can go do 100 races and not really learn that much from it. But you can do 10 races and have really tough situations and find ways and sort of be a bit more introspective and look at how you reacted to the situation, what you thought, what you were aware of, and learn about yourself, so that each race is a chance to master your own self a little better. And that's what makes a difference for some people. Some people are really naturally aware of themselves, and some people it takes years, and some people never quite get there. And that's really what I won't say that's the key to winning an Olympic medal, because some people, they just go out and just do it without without knowing how they did it. And that's just, I won't say they're lucky, but it's just nice to have that ability.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But that ability to learn about yourself can be huge in those marginal sports, like where hundredths make a difference.
Now, outside of the obvious, it's 500 meters longer. Having did both and done both at a very successful and high rate, what's the biggest difference between a 500 for the average watcher, right? Like, obviously, hey, I guess you got to last your speed longer, but is it just about having different cardio to be successful in the 1,000 to the 500? Or is there some real nuanced difference in those races that, average guys like myself might not truly understand? And if there are, can you let us know what some of them are?
Yeah, the biggest difference is the most obvious difference is just the 500. You can go full gas all the way, because of the nature of skating. Like if you run full sprint for 35 seconds, you can't keep that going.
Yes.
But on ice, because there's some limitations with the rate, the stride rate, and it's a little less elastic. You're not like bounding down track like running. It's more side to side. There's some limitations that sort of cap how much power you can use, and you're allowed, and it allows you to just go full effort for 35 seconds. You of course you start to lose some power and some speed at the end, but not that much. And you're gliding, so that helps you keep speed too. In a 1,000, it's more like you hold back just enough. Maybe it's almost more mental than physical. And a lot of times the lap time from 200 meters to 400 meters in a 1,000-meter race is faster than the lap time from 100 to 500 meters in a 500-meter race for the same person, just because you're pretty much going full with just this slight mental pacing that you've sort of mastered for yourself over years of racing. And it's but it's a struggle to keep going at the end of the 1,000, especially if you're a real sprinter. You're kind of like you go full on and try to hold on. If you're more of a middle distance skater, you can go full, and you'll be behind the sprinter after a lap and a half, and then you're just you're reeling them in for the last lap. And that's where those are the types of races that I didn't really like, because I was more of a sprinter, and if I was paired with a more middle distance guy, I knew he was looking at me not with a lap to go, not thinking, oh, he's too far ahead. He was looking at me thinking, now it's time to start reeling him in. And when you can feel yourself catching up, it just gives you a little more mental momentum and belief to keep that going. And I didn't always come out on top in those races, but that's the way it is.
And one last one, Jeremy. There's been lots of talk about Norway and how much success they have for a smaller country. Like, you look at the last Olympics, they had 80 athletes and they won 37 medals, right? Like it's a ridiculous amount of success. And, I've read up some things that, how they do it at the amateur levels, that, they don't keep score in certain aspects. And I know it's kind of, everybody, if they're going to have an event that has a trophy, then every kid gets a trophy because every kid feels good about it. And they have a higher rate of kids playing. And then they do specialize a little bit later on, right? 13, 14, stuff like that. Since you've been over there coaching for 10 years, have you noticed a distinct difference that leads to Norway's success and maybe something that as Canada we should look at possibly readjusting?
I've been asked that a few times, and I think some of the Norwegian say sport culture,
okay,
I think it gets a little misrepresented in North America. And I think the main thing that I see that's different is a lot of kids in Canada play several sports. And I think in Norway, a lot of kids, they join a club and they just do that sport from a young age. Like they do, if they play soccer, they play soccer like year round. That's all they do. There's kids who are skiing. You can join a club and you ski all winter, and in the spring and summer they have dry land for the kids, And so even though maybe they don't keep score or rank athletes in individual sports on time or points or whatever the nature of the sport is, everybody knows the score and everybody knows their time. And you go to your buddy and say, what was your time? And they're like, oh, I you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if the kids don't, the parents do know.
Yeah.
And so so even though there is there is definitely a different culture about it, around it, but people in here in Norway are much more aware of all sports. I'll say that.
Okay.
And so there's a little broader sports sort of reporting, broader sports knowledge in the country. And I think that makes a difference, because when people watch the Olympics, they know everybody. They know who's expected to do what, and they know what is a good or a bad result. And I think that's partly comes from the sport. The Olympics are big, but the 3 years in between, winter sports, for example, are big every year anyway.
Okay.
And I think that's part of the difference too. There's a lot more to it than that. I'm saying it pretty general and shallow. I'm not sure how deep you want to go into it now.
Yeah.
But
oh no, I was just kind of curious. I was curious.
It would take an hour. It would take more than an hour.
Because it's really interesting listening to you say, because some of the reporting I've said, they don't focus on one sport, and you're like, well, that's actually not true. You have a lot of people who do focus on one thing. Now they might play something else at the same time, and we can always get into discussion. Like a lot of sports are late developing, right? Like even hockey, even in North America, some people, oh, my 7-year-old, geez, looks really good, and you're like, okay, pump the brakes. But lastly, as a speed skater, Jeremy, is there a certain physique that you find has a big natural advantage? Like, is height that much of an advantage in long, or maybe is shorter an advantage in short track? Is there any truth to that?
I think there's a little truth to that. But there are a lot of exceptions. There are a lot of really fast Asian skaters, especially in sprint distances, and they're shorter on average than European people or people of European descent, let's say. And in the longer distances, I think it's a bit of an advantage to be taller, though. I think you can have it's an easier time to have a rhythm that holds speed if you're taller. And in short distances, when you're just going full speed, a really fast rhythm is it's more tiring to hold, but you don't have to hold it for that long. So there's not a big disadvantage. And in short track, it used to be really little skaters.
Yeah.
But now there's a few who are pretty tall, but they're not heavy, but they're tall. So that's changed a bit. It's really about having speed and agility, and of course a head for racing in a pack.
Jeremy, thanks so much for this. Continued success in coaching. Enjoy the remainder of the Olympics. And it was great to catch up with you. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
That is Jeremy Wotherspoon, literally one of the fastest speed skaters the world's ever seen, not just in Canada, but in the world. He still today holds the record for most World Cup victories with 67. Now, young Jordan Stalls, he's already at 47, and he's young. And now he does 3 events, right? He has 15 in the 500. Jeremy Wotherspoon had 49. Stolz has 16 in the 1,000. Wotherspoon had 18, and Stolz also already has 15 in the 1,500 meter. Jeremy didn't do any. So, the youngster Stolz is definitely on pace to be a guy who's probably going to pass him down the road. But that's, it just shows you how good Jeremy Wotherspoon was for a long, long time. One of the greatest sprinters we've ever seen. Quick break. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca. Meals.loca.ca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier and tastier. Head to meals.loca.ca and you can select the number of chef-crafted meals you'd like to eat, and they'll get delivered right to your door. Meals.loca.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Canada picked up their third gold medal to win our games as the women's speed skating pursuit team got past the Dutch in the final. In curling, the Canadian men defeated Great Britain 9-5 to secure a playoff spot, while Rachel Homan's ring defeated Sweden 8-6. They'll meet Italy tomorrow. Canada will meet the Czechs in the quarterfinal in men's hockey after Czechia got past Denmark 3-2. Leon, the Germans beat France 5-1. They'll get Slovakia up next. The Swiss shutting out Italy 3-0. They advance to take on Finland, and it's looking like Sweden will get the States. They lead Latvia 3-1 in the third period. Over here, the Edmonton Oilers loaning forward Matt Savoy to the Condors. Savoy has 9 goals, 18 points in his first NHL season, and will play Friday night against Calgary. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host Terry Ryan and Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM NHL. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
You gotta go to
Snowy afternoon. How are you? And welcome.
Game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're
first, you're going to be like,
crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Sometimes you think about what you're going to do in the day. Go to work, pick up the kids from school, make supper. But at GS Construction, we think a little differently. Winter is our season to think, to plan, and to improve. We study, we innovate, we train. So when the thaw comes, we're ready to dig, build, and deliver even better, which means we need people like you. If you're thinking about joining the team at GS Construction, now's the time to do it. To apply and to see how we think, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Continue on Tuesday afternoon. How are you? It's the Gregor Show presented by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Of course, lottery, Lotto Max tonight, $55 million and 4 Max Millions. Also, you go to the Jason Gregor Show, and we have odds boosts all the time. So if you want to let's have some Olympic action, well, not expecting a lot of goals. As we get in the Olympics later on, there's not a lot of offense. Sadly, Connor, sadly. So we'll see what happens, but maybe Canada will change that as they take on Czechia for the second time in the tournament. They were victorious 5-0 the first time. That was last Wednesday, and they will meet again tomorrow. Look forward to it. And Sweden is minutes away from moving on. They are going to take on the United States. So no upsets. The 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds all win. 5 being Switzerland, 6 being Germany, 7 Sweden, and 8 Czechia. So 1-827-3645. Those matchups locked in and ready to rock tomorrow as we welcome to the show former NHLer, star of On Shoresy, Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing, my man? You getting any snow out on the East Coast?
Funny you should ask. We're in for a storm tonight. I believe that the school will be, I think it already is canceled tomorrow, so it's going to be a doozy.
Oh, a doozy. Yeah. See, we got like seems like a foot of snow here today. So it was 20 to 30 centimeters. And, but man, if school's closed, there's no school closed today. Like, so when you say a doozy, what are you talking? Like 40 centimeters, 50? What are they projecting?
Yeah. I think it's right around there. Yeah, 30 odd. Yeah. So it's not. It doesn't always get canceled the day before, but when you know
it's coming,
when you know there's a huge dump coming, and it's very likely, if by chance, I've never seen it happen, absolutely nothing. I guess you'd probably go in the afternoon or something, but people are getting prepared. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We go through it a few times a winter. Tomorrow happens to be one of them. It's we just embrace it, just as you guys do. We got a big country, but it's not up and down. It's pretty much across. So we're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, it's true. Lots of snow. The Olympics now, we're into week number 2. Canada finally got the gold. Now we've got 3 straight days with the gold medal, which is nice. And, there's been lots of great performances. Anything for you that's kind of caught your interest that you found, hey, man, I'm liking this sport maybe more than I thought I would?
Yeah, well, I mean, because I guess I try to tune in when we have a chance to win for fear of missing something because I'm so busy. And the more I watch speed skating, I've said, like, I think I take it for granted because, a lot of people say, well, why don't they have skates on? I'm like, well, or hockey skates. I'm like, that's ignorant because hockey's hockey and speed skating. I don't know the origins of it. But I think it's like when you look at the blades they're skating on, like people, it's speed skating, and I'll also say curling, being these underrated sports. When you see people going like the old Jay Leno when he goes out in the street, or Jimmy Kimmel, or whatever it is. It's been done a million times. But I've seen a few of those, right? Oh, we'll go out in the street and ask people, or they've gone around to the media. I listen to all the shows. What would you do? If you could just go into the Olympics right now, they go, oh, curling or speed skate, as if there's some joke sports. Curling is like really hard. Of course, we can throw it down. I guess just like you could, someone who plays basketball could put on skates and technically stand up. You know how hard curling is, and speed skating to do what they're doing. The way they're doing it, why aren't they going faster? Because it's the method. It's the whole process that if they skate like we do, they're going to lose speed. It's obvious. I just think watching it, I think it's underrated, but I'm really, really fascinated. And the other thing about speed skating, I still haven't figured out the best method to pass. It's really hard to pass, depending on which track they're using, but it's really hard to pass. You watch, we'll have Colin Livingston on here and talk about, Formula One and everything else, and how hard that is. It's completely different. But I'm just saying, when you're making the turn, right, everybody's going the same direction and you're generally going the same speed. It's hard to get in there. Like, I really, really appreciate that sport more now. I don't know why. I think just because I'm watching it more, because I heard we might get a few medals. So I've been glued to it.
Yeah, well, especially on the short track. On the long track, you got your own lane. And, like we just had Jeremy Wotherspoon on, and he said, in long track, if you go your best, you know what? Usually the best guy wins. In short track, the fastest person doesn't always win. Because
no, that's what I mean. The short track.
There's other ways to win. There's a little bumping and grinding at certain times. And then, as you say, TR, it's like, if you get in front of a person, and it's not like it's, all of a sudden Gregor's in front of me and the guy's just going to blow by me, right? Like we're talking the elite of the elite. So even the slow person at that level is still like, you get into a final or a semifinal, you're like, oh my God, like it's it's about timing and it's about strategizing and I love it. It's fun to watch. And then there's always a few crazy wipeouts for sure. So, and like you see them just crash into those and they're not boards, because if it was boards, it'll have broken legs. Like there's definitely there's a little bit more give in those, but I like it. I know about you, but I watched Big Air yesterday, and Oldham won. She won a gold medal. And then I was watching the men today, and it's ridiculous the stuff they do. Like I love ski cross and snowboard cross, and there's so many of those different sports now that I'm just like, wow, like you watch and just, you're spinning up there. Never mind just spinning. Now they're leaning back. They're grabbing their ski or their snowboard. And you're just like, what the hell is going on? Like you got to be fearless, and you got to be agile as hell, and you got to be fast, and, like strong core and strong legs. Like you see some of them when they're able to land, even though they're not in the right spot, but they still save it. And you're just like, oh my God. Like the only way people would really, truly respect these is if you put the average guy, and I'm talking like not just Joe Schrum who can't even sit on the couch. I'm talking people who are like, hey, I was a pretty good athlete. I ran track, or I did this. And then you go do some of these sports like, hey, you know what? I was a good skater in hockey. Maybe I played the university. Yeah. Great. You go on speed skate and you get murdered, right? Like it wouldn't even be close.
No, I don't think so either. That's why, and not only that, there's two things here I want to bring up, because maybe, am I crazy? You said Big Air. Now I only heard these. I heard people talking about it. When they're going up, didn't they not have poles last time? I saw people with poles.
Yeah, some have it, some don't. Like it's like they've added it, because before they never had them.
I remember seeing it. I don't know anything about the sport. I feel so ignorant saying this. I noticed that, having not watched it that much. I mean, I would, but every time I guilt myself into this. We really should watch these sports more. It's just real hard to pay attention, but I'm so proud of Canada out there. But yeah, so that I guess would have to ask someone who's a professional. And, remember, like, I don't know, in my lifetime, maybe it was in the 90s, but people like question these sports, like from the X Games coming in.
Yeah.
And now it like is my whole focus of the Olympics sometimes when I turn it on. It's so acrobatic and so athletic. I'm like, how did we leave this stuff out ever? Right? With some of the sports in there. So entertaining. The snowboarding too. I mean, anything you're coming to, and those moguls, I just
no, dude.
I think, again, not recency bias, but I think there's some sports in the winter that you don't really realize how hard it is. I mean, like I'm watching the Summer Olympics. I know I'm not going to play on the basketball team, but I can appreciate it, and I kind of know the physics of it, right? And other things like javelin. Again, I'd never win that, but I know it. I know how they. But some of this stuff, like those moguls coming down, that like think about it, man. I don't ski that much, but I've skied. When you go out and you're on the wrong course down, or the wrong,
dude,
whatever it is, slope.
It's a garage sale quickly.
Yes, and it's really scary.
Oh,
and you got to almost start going like a 7-year-old just to get down. Now look at what they're doing. Look, the moguls are crazy. It's that times 8 million. I don't know how more people don't break their necks. It's so entertaining to watch, and I just think, man, those legs. You think Sidney Crosby got big legs, man? I don't know. Watch some of those guys coming out of that, and girls. They are absolute robots, like just coming down that hill. I find it fascinating. I watch the Winter Olympics and sit back, and I find like sometimes like 2.5 hours go by, and I'm like, oh God, I got to get to whatever I was doing. I find just a lot of it mesmerizing. It's like it almost looks unbelievable.
Well, I was the dual moguls, which is new.
Yes.
And you got two guys, and so because moguls is hard enough as itself, but now you're racing, and you saw Kingsbury, they're in the final, and the guy literally loses control. He's going so damn fast, and he's just like, well, I got to bail here, so he just goes through and he doesn't hit the last jump, and Kingsbury wins. But I was watching how fast they're going, and like their knees in that position. It's like they're bouncing off the moguls. And oh, by the way, now we're going to do a somersault midair, cross our skis. We're going to have an X over top of us, and you're just like, what the hell's going on here? Like, it's so fun. And like certain things, like you'd say, like most people sitting at home, you know what? I could train. I could run a 400 meter. Now, I would never be an Olympic time, but I could do it. Right? Most people can run a 400 meter. I could do a high jump. I can get the technique. I can go over the bar. I'm not going to go that high, but I can do it. Moguls, No chance. Like, now
None.
I've done, like, I remember the last time I did moguls and accidentally, and because I kind of wasn't, I was on a hill. I was at Sunshine many moons ago. And it was, and of course, it had to be under the stupid chairlift, right? You come around the corner, you're going down. Oh, yeah, I'll hit. Okay, good. Now they're doing okay. And then all of a sudden, like, and it's probably like a 1 out of 10 on a level of hard. And I'm in there and I'm just, my legs over here. The next thing you know, I'm wiping out and everybody on the chairlift, as they look down. And I was just like, oh my God. So I don't know how they do it, but it is like, it's wild stuff. And I do find myself, like, I've been watching ski cross and snowboard cross a lot more year round, just because I like the sport. Like, I'm always intrigued by it. I'm like, God, like, it's a little bit of roller derby and they're always on the edge, especially in the snowboards. And I'm just like, it looks like someone's going to fall every turn, even though they don't. It just, they're pushing to the extreme every time. And I love it, man. Like, I've had so much fun watching it, especially on the weekends with my son. We're watching new sports and he's just like, geez, Dad, how do they learn that? I said, well, you just start. Sometimes it's on a trampoline and you got to learn how to spin and you do it in a foam pit so you're not going to hurt yourself. Then eventually you graduate and say, okay, now we're going to do, a 360. Now we're going to do a whatever it is, 480. And now we're going to do a 600. And you're like, all right. Next thing you know, these guys are up to like 1260s. It's wild.
Well, when you're watching it, to me, it's like when they're, let's just take the dual moguls, for example. Let's just take that, for example. You're coming down. It's like you're looking at evidence, like tangible evidence of how hard they've trained. You take it for granted in other things like hockey. Again, how hard is it to play hockey? But a lot of it, we play and we're some level of knowing how to play and growing up and but when you watch Connor McDavid, I guess a bad example. When you watch Seth Jarvis or someone out there, you kind of forget for a second how, when you started skating and how much muscle memory and work that took. And then after that, you work on the other things. Well, like when I'm looking at him come down the mountain, all I'm saying is that looks so impossible that they must have done this like a million times. Like, because part of it's training and then part of it's muscle memory. And then just coming down that fast and being confident. Like you said, you got to start like, in a gym with a bunch of jelly balls, right? And then you got to go pick it up to something a little bit harder and then a little bit harder until you get to that point. I mean, a million obviously is, but tens of thousands of times, tens of thousands. And then we're looking at the King. At least I was enthralled by that. Someone got knocked down, say, to fourth. And then they go, okay, next 4 years from now, and 78,000 more times, I'll get it. Right? Like you're looking at it going like the level of training that this takes, this athlete to do this must be, it just obviously shows a dedication and a commitment and a focus that I don't even need to know anything else about you. I bet you if you start something, you're going to finish it. I bet you're a decent student. I bet you're, because if you've got that level of focus to be that good at a sport that requires such split-second timing and absolute sorcery of the physical body, then I would have to think that it spills over into other things. And that's why I guess a lot of them are successful away from the course or the Olympics.
Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, through Sports 1440. Took a quick break. We will return. We got lots more to discuss on the Olympics, the NHL, some order moves and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your fix. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
This year, instead of a short winter getaway from the cold, what if you took a permanent winter getaway from your hair loss? Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, inviting you to come plan your winter transformation. I've helped thousands of Edmonton men and women get their hair and their confidence back. Many of them preferred the winter. Cooler temperatures are great for recovery, and winter hats can keep everything discreet. Trips are nice, but this winter, choose to invest in your vessel. Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, technique, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
3:30. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Oh, my goodness. Just, you know what? You'd seen some reports of, and it just shows you why sometimes you always got to wait. You know what? There's a report of maybe some money. Jeff Passan reporting that MLB-PA Executive Director Tony Clark resigned after an internal investigation revealed he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law who had been hired by the union in 2023. My goodness. So probably begs like, oh my, that's awful. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, well, what is it? Is it your wife's sister or is it your brother's wife? Yeah.
It does, but for whatever it does change the context a little bit.
Involved in, but that is a tough one, man.
What was the first part of that, Jason? I missed it.
That was Tony Clark, right? He's the head of the MLBPA, and he resigned because an investigation found that he'd had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law, who had been hired by the union. So
okay, hired by the
conflict of
union.
interest, but okay. So hired by the union is one thing, but then it's also your sister-in-law. So you're kind of like,
Yeah, but I mean,
it's a little Marty Brodeur-ish here.
I'm not saying it's great, but you can't just get fired for things that you do outside, right? Am I wrong there?
No, some companies will have a moral clause. They could say, "Hey, you know what? I don't know. That might cross the line." So either way, that is.
So they could have an investigation into people. If you
Well,
did
no,
an
they were
investigation into half the people at half the workplaces in North America, you're going to find something.
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah, you could be right. But I think there because there's probably a conflict of interest. The fact that worked for the union and so maybe it's leading to some inappropriate. Like, what if she's a treasurer? Or, so how do you know? So I don't know. When you're the head,
how stupid. There's so many fish in the sea. I mean, how idiotic anyway. Whenever any of that happens, like there's so many people out there to get involved with, and you're gonna pick somebody that'll get you fired. Doesn't make sense.
Well, and it's like it's either your wife's sister or your brother's wife. Like it's a tough one. That'd be a very awkward family dinner, I would think. After that, or probably wouldn't be a family dinner. Anyway, let's go in the room. Brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta, 53 years in business. In their service division, they offer 24/7 emergency electrical service with certified technicians. They also provide preventive maintenance contracts, keep facilities running safely. ActionElectrical.net. As Dave A. McCarthy joins us now. Dave comes in right at the salacious time of the show. It's just, hey, we had to talk about that story briefly, but we'll get back on track. Now we know officially the four matchups in the quarterfinals of the Olympics, Dave. Unless you do have a comment that you really want to share in regards to the MLB PA, feel free. Sweden is now going to take on the U.S. Canada's taking on Czechia, Finland and Switzerland, and Germany and Slovakia. So no upsets in the qualifying. Do you see any upsets in the quarters?
Yeah, put it this way. I do have a comment about the Tony Clark situation, but you know what? In my best judgment, I think I should reserve comment for another medium, not on the radio, just because it's probably safer that way. But it's an interesting story. We'll say that. Look, the United States has the toughest draw here. Like, Sweden is not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think they were playing particularly well early in the tournament. They look good in their win this afternoon. The Leafs actually had the game on in the locker room after practice, watching Oliver Ekman-Larsson and William Nylander there. So everyone's invested, but it's wild to think that one of Sweden or the United States will now not win a medal at the U.S. Whoever loses, they're done. They won't get a chance to play for a medal. So, I think that's notable, because I think going into the tournament, I would have said Canada, the United States, Sweden would have been my pick for the top three, and that's not going to be the case anymore. So they'll have a tough go at it. I think Canada will be fine against Czechia. They handled them quite well in the first game. Now, yes, it was the first game, but you and I talked about this the other day, Jason. Canada's not really been tested to this point at all. You play the games that are on the schedule, and they've played them quite well. So with what they've had in front of them, I can't really point to any particular weaknesses that I see. And so I think you have to feel confident if you're Canada going into that game against Czechia. And then we'll see what happens. I think we're all hoping it's going to be Canada and the United States in the gold medal game, certainly here in North America. And it still has the potential to be so. But I haven't seen anything to this point in the tournament that would make me reconsider Canada as my top pick.
Slovakia, Germany. Who do you like?
That's a good one. Like, I think, quite honestly, for Germany, that's the best possible opponent that they could have drawn. Like, Slovakia is good, but they're kind of, to me, in that next tier after Canada, the U.S., Sweden, Finland, and Czechia. I think Slovakia is down a notch. They're not a lousy team like France, but they're not a top echelon team either, to me. Although you've got Olympic dynamo Yuri Slafkovsky in the mix. This guy never plays better than he does at Olympic games. You go back to the last one where he was outstanding when there were no NHLers. So he's been good. But, Germany's got a pretty good group as well. Leon Draisaitl at any given time, I don't have to tell you guys, can be the best player in the world. Moritz Seider is a beast now on the back end. He's looked great in Detroit this year. If goaltending can hold up for Germany, I think this will be a close one. I'm going to pick Germany in this one.
Okay. We heard McKinnon didn't skate, but coach said no big deal. It's maintenance day for him and Sam Bennett. They're both expecting the lineup. Josh Morrissey wouldn't confirm, but people watching practice, he was flying around. Now, you could wait an extra 2 days with him if need be. I think they could beat Czech even without McKinnon, as good as he is. I just think Canada's that deep.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the McDavid lines really rolling, him and Celebrini and whoever they play there, whether it's Wilson or McKinnon. And then you have the Stone, Marner, Crosby line, which has become kind of their reliable line. They start games, they start periods. Some of those guys are on the penalty kill. That's become kind of the line where you go up against Czechia and you say, hey, we got home ice. Let's play Crosby against Pasternak's line, and then let McDavid and McKinnon's line feast on the second and third lines of Czechia.
That's exactly what I would do. It's exactly what I would do. I mean, or I should say McDavid's line against, lower lineup competition for Czechia is not a fair fight. So that's exactly what I would do. I've loved the Marner, Crosby, Stone line. They're defensively conscious guys. Of course, they can chip in offensively, but nothing is ever out of hand when those guys are on the ice, which to me is what you really want to see in a tournament like this, where it's so short. You don't have time for things to, as they say, even out in the wash over a long sample size. In a short tournament, any given play could be the most important play of the tournament. So reliability is what I'm always after, and that line has provided it. Look, Mark Stone, I talked a lot about Mark Stone on my show on Sunday with Alec Martinez, and who won a cup with Mark in Vegas. And he said just his ability to get where he needs to be and anticipate where he needs to be is as good as he's ever played with. Also, his spatial awareness on the ice, that's why he can get away without being the most fleet of foot, is because he knows where he needs to be as plays are developing. And I thought that was interesting. And actually, in a conversation that I had with Bobby McMahon, Wainwright, Alberta native, this afternoon, so I would ask him about Macklin Celebrini playing with Connor McDavid. We were laughing. He's like, man, at 19, I can't even fathom what this guy's doing with the best players in the world. But I said, what about his game has made him so effective? Because he's not McDavid fast or anything like that. He's not even particularly flashy, I don't find, but he's just so effective. And he said, just like Mark Stone, which, as you get further on in your career and you become accustomed to the pace of the NHL, older guys can get by, he told me, by their ability to intuit where they need to be. To be able to pick that up at 19 years of age, usually you've got all the skill in the world at that age, but sometimes what holds you back is just how quickly things develop that you're maybe not used to, given where you played prior in junior or college hockey. But he said he has the spatial awareness on the ice. Macklin Celebrini does. Bobby McMahon told me this, that a guy who's been in the league for 10 years would have. And that's what really stands out to Bobby about Macklin Celebrini. And, I totally agree with that, because he's always where he needs to be. And the other thing on top of all of that is the moment doesn't seem too big for the guy, right? Like the penalty shot the other night, he went right to center. I don't know if he knows the rule or not that they could pick somebody else, but he was fully anticipating taking that shot. And then John Cooper said, well, I can't not put him on the ice now. And he just went in and scored like it was no big deal. So, man, I think Macklin Celebrini, we're really getting an opportunity to recognize just how good this guy is at this level.
Dave, Brad Marchand, if he's all right, does he go in, and where does he go?
Oh, 100% he goes. I think that's why you brought him. And he, to me, is a guy that is a Swiss Army knife. You can play him on the fourth line. He can agitate. He can play effectively in that role. He can give you 10 reliable minutes. If somebody gets banged up, he can move up the lineup a bit and be effective. So I would absolutely put him in the lineup. I'd expect him to be on the fourth line. But then, like I said, there's that ability to use him in a greater role if the need should arise. But you bring a guy like Brad Marchand because of his experience, because of his calmness, because of the experience that he's had playing deep in the Stanley Cup playoffs, playing in high leverage situations, handling it well, understanding, no need to get panicked, all that type of stuff. And that rubs off on the younger guys. So if he's okay, and it appears that he is, without question, you put him in the lineup.
And who do you take out?
That's a tough one. I think you keep Sam Bennett in the lineup. I think he has been good. I think, I don't know, like Seth Jarvis has been good. I don't know. Who do you think, Terry? Do you have a guy that you'd look at?
So, like you said, there are 3 blowout games that these games hard to judge. I mean, Suzuki, I feel bad saying that, but I don't know. Like maybe him.
He was probably the guy that I was looking at.
Yeah, and for no other reason than he hasn't been as magnificent as everybody else.
Yeah, I know it's a tough one, really, because I don't think you can go wrong if you didn't make a change. But I just think, you bring Brad for a game like this. If you're not going to play him if he's healthy in a game like this, why'd you bring him? And I think at the point that he's at in his career, nobody's owed anything, but in a roundabout way, I think he's owed the opportunity for action in this game.
Yeah. For me, it'd be Seth Jarvis. I think if you're taking on Suzuki, because he can play center and the wing, I think he stays in. Jarvis was kind of the last guy to get in anyway, and I think he's probably going to be there's nothing he's done that would say, hey, he's moved ahead of these guys that they had in the original order. So that's the guy I think would come out of the lineup. We'll see.
That's fair. Yeah.
If it is him or not. And I think Sam Bennett's kind of their 13th forward at this stage, and so I don't see that changing. So it's probably Marchand in, Jarvis out. The interesting one would be on the blue line in how they deployed their defenseman. Travis Sanheim did play the most minutes, but it was against France.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder, did they do that because they're like, hey, we want to see more? Or was like, hey, we're going to rest the other guys? I'm not really sure which way to gauge that because he'd only played 10 minutes in his first game. But, Josh Morrissey's healthy and he's cleared. He's coming back in. That's probably a no-brainer. And I think it's probably going to be Sanheim who ends up coming out. And then I'll be curious to see because I've liked Shea Theodore's game. So I'd be curious to see what the minute distribution would be if Morrissey comes back in.
Yeah, I keep Shea Theodore in for sure before Sanheim. I think it's more in the France game he played the most minutes because they were saving everybody else for when it really matters. Not, again, to say anything against Travis Sanheim, who in his own right is a really good defenseman, but you can't play everybody. I like Shea Theodore's game a little bit more than Sanheim's right now. So Sanheim would probably be the guy that I take out.
Okay. Davey, quickly, when you look at the LA Kings, Kevin Fiala's done for the year. Do you think Ken Holland makes another big splash now? Or, they've got Panarin, they've got him long-term, that they might just look to, because there's not like there's another Panarin out there.
No.
But, they've given up Greentree already in a pick. Like, I wonder how big of a push they'll go, considering they are currently 3 points out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I know they want to get into the playoffs for Anze Kopitar in his final year. There's always a consideration there. But, man, it's terrible luck. I thought it was the right move at the time when they made it because I do like how they play structurally. I think defensively they're a pretty good team, but they struggle to score. So by bringing in Art Panarin, you bring in a guy that can provide a serious injection of offense and then slide Kevin Fiala down the lineup. And then hopefully you get two sources of consistent offensive production. Now Fiala's out for the year. Kind of, to me, not to be defeatist, but it has the feeling that it just might not be their year. And to go and expend future assets again to try to be better this year when I don't think you can make a move to replace a guy like Kevin Fiala at that level, to me, is not a prudent use of assets. So I'd probably hold pat at this point if I were Ken Holland. See if the guys can fight their way into the playoffs, and then so be it. But I don't view them as a Stanley Cup contender without Kevin Fiala, and I don't even know if I did if he hadn't have gotten hurt. I do know if I did. The answer was no, right? So at this point, to throw more good in terms of assets at what is probably a losing battle anyway doesn't make a lot of sense. It's unfortunate. I like the move. I think it'll help them moving forward. Just probably not this year.
Davey, enjoy it. Next time we chat, we will know who is the gold medal champion in both men's and women's. I think it's safe to say the American women are the favorite and the Canadian men are the favorite. And we'll see if both of those teams can live up to the favorite bill.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see the women's final. I mean, Canada, who did they ever sneak? Like, they dominated, but 2-1, it was anybody's game. I'm totally with you. The Americans, I think, are the favorite coming in, but never count the Canadian girls out, because if they can pull off, I think, an upset here, that'd be pretty damn impressive.
Awesome stuff. Appreciate it, man. That's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan will return. We got more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
This is dead. It's time to replace it before winter crushes you. Legacy Heating and Cooling is practically there already. Yeah, we're working in your basement, doing a replacement. The work is so earnestly building your legacy. With no payments and no interest for 1 year, you gotta call Legacy. Replacing your dying furnace before it's too late, that's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. And they're now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just Brab and 118th.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your fix. Edmonton's home to sports is Sports 1440.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrobacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. And yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Get down to Harley-Davidson of Edmonton's VIP Spring Blowout Sale this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. New motorcycles are selling for as low as $12,900. and ask us about the 1-year extended warranty on new and used bikes. Bring your buddies, because when they buy a new Harley, you get a $500 referral credit. For more details, visit Harley Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by EUL. Get your power play amped up with EUL, supplying the City of Champions in Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EUL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
3:53. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Oh, geez, you know what I just noticed? By the way, the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Are the excuses starting already for Team USA? Frank Cervalli tweeting out that USA is going to play their fourth game at 9:10 local time. And Coach Mike Sullivan had mentioned it's been hard for players to fall asleep quickly after games. They're arriving back to the village around 1:15 a.m. So it's a tough one. They do have the late game again tomorrow. So just, I don't know, just like a subtle excuse. Oh, we lost. We had all those 9-10 games. Hey, got to convince yourself whatever you can. Get ready for another ass kicking by Canada. God, now more than ever, man. You want to see them spank it. The Americans in men's hockey for sure. So it'd be great. Can't wait. Like I'll be, Saturday night, work, church, and home. Get home early. Be ready to roll for Sunday. Don't want to miss a minute of that. So should be nice. I don't know about you, TR, but you're fired up. You know what? I like the rivalry and stuff, and we'll get reconnected with it in a second. But I like the rivalry and everything. But man, it's now more than ever. I don't know how listeners are, but I just want to kick the Americans' ass. And the other thing is, you look at it and just not only some of the comments from their president annoying. I'm more so annoyed by what their country is doing with the Epstein files. You look at other places in the world, they're actually doing their due diligence and going after the pedos, the absolute human scums that they are. But not in the USA, right? They only release certain files. What a joke. So that's just another reason. God, just crush them and be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Anyway, let's get to, hey guys, I'm just hoping Sweden beats them. You know what though? Well, I guess in a way, maybe that'd be a better flame up, but there would be nothing better because, the Americans will come in. Yeah, here's our chance. We're going to win. And then they'll lose again. And now losing to Sweden would be I guess comical in a way that now you don't even get a medal. So sure, but I don't know. There'd be something better to beat them, wouldn't it? Maybe it's just me. Anyway, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 15,000 vehicles at goauto.ca, 31 new vehicle brands, and 76 locations for you to stop in. Check out all the rides at goauto.ca. The big news about Edmonton today, Matt Savoy has been loaned to Bakersfield. Now, this has to do with some cap work for them. They can get some cap space savings, and so then they can recall him next week. He also will get into a game. Now, they do play tomorrow. I don't know if he'll be there in time for that game, but they play tomorrow and they play Friday. They do also play next Tuesday. With Edmonton restarting on the Wednesday, that game would probably seem a little, unrealistic. But because the new rules, when you send a player down to the minors, they have to play a game. Now, there are exceptions to that. Let's say you send down a player, and then all of a sudden you have 3 guys get injured. You could recall him because you need the player. And it wasn't done just to be cap circumvention, right? This is one where it's all legal, but they're doing it to save money on the cap. So it's not cap circumvention. It's just you're using a legal arm of the salary cap. But to prevent them from just doing it for 1 day, and the Players Association didn't like it where you'd have some players in San Jose, for instance, where their minor league team is, they would send them down for 1 or 2 days because now they're not on the cap. And so that saves them cap space. And teams would do that multiple times. So that's a big reason why they got rid of it. So Matt Savoy will go down and play either Friday or Wednesday for them. The Oilers did have an optional skate today, and, fairly well attended by lots of the players, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, and others, like, their star guys, excluding McDavid and Draisaitl, of course. Josh Szymanski is not officially on the Oilers roster, remember. He was reassigned to or loaned to Bakersfield before the Olympic break, as was Calvin Pickard. And Calvin Pickard was on the ice today with the Condors in Bakersfield. So Edmonton, they'll have their first, official practice, because today was optional, but most guys were on the ice anyway. But they'll have their first official one tomorrow. They'll practice tomorrow and Thursday. Then they'll have Friday off. Then they'll practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, and then they will fly out after the Monday practice. They'll get into Anaheim for Monday night. Then they'll probably have a skate on Tuesday. I would assume Connor McDavid's going to be joining the team there, right? Like, A, it's a little bit closer. B, he doesn't need much practice time. The guy's been playing the whole time. And I don't know if it's a lock if Canada wins the gold on Sunday that he play on Wednesday? Yes. Could they give him the day off? Maybe. Will they just restrict his minutes? Probably. So those are the options next week for Connor McDavid. It would be similar for Leon Draisaitl, depending on how deep Germany goes. I know there's some talk about, Draisaitl, he can't shoot the puck. Did you see their first goal today? Leon Draisaitl, from his office, one-timer on a pass from Szymanski. And then later on, he returned the favor and Szymanski scored. But Draisaitl, is he banged up? Maybe. But he played 24 minutes, as he should. He's Germany's best player. They got to win, man. This is they're not Canada, right? Like, it's different. Yeah, Connor McDavid's only averaging 17 minutes. It's actually slightly under in the 3 games because they've outscored teams 20-3. They've never been in trouble. Right? McDavid had 1 game where he played 14 minutes. It's usually a 2-period game for him. But that's the advantage. Germany doesn't have that. Right? Seider, Draisaitl, Peterka, their top guys, they're going to play a lot. That's just how it's going to be. So, just like in Canada, you get to that gold medal game. I don't think Connor McDavid's playing 17 minutes a night, unless it's a blowout. I think you're gonna play him lots, and he'll be ready for it. So the Oilers, the other, I know we got lots of people have they made a trade? No, they can't officially announce a trade until the trade freeze ends next week. Okay, so that's you won't see anything announced by any teams in regards to that. So they're not allowed to do it. The trade freeze runs until Sunday at 10 p.m. Edmonton time. So after that, I guess they could announce a trade late Sunday night, or you wait until Monday or Tuesday if there's indeed have agreed to one. You can agree to one, just can't announce anything until the 22nd at 10 p.m. in case you're wondering. So there you go. That's the Oil Report brought to you by Go Auto. Coming up, we got Mark Spector, we got Struddy, we got our new segment, Stat of the Day. We'll have some fun with that today. Some names you probably haven't heard of that we'll talk about. We got Spec and DVD in the final hour, as well as Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning. And now we'll get to Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Fountain Tire. Tires. Also vehicle repair. They will look at oil changes, and they can give you their digital vehicle report. Not just tell you what your car needs, but show you at fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Canada picked up their 3rd gold medal at the Winter Games as the women's speed skating pursuit team got past the Dutch in the final. In curling, the Canadian men defeated Great Britain 9-5 to secure a playoff spot, while Rachel Homan's rank defeated Sweden 8-6 and will meet Italy tomorrow. Canada will meet Czechia In the quarterfinal, after they beat Denmark 3-2, Leon and the Germans beat France 5-1 and now get Slovakia. The Swiss shut out Italy 3-0 in advance to take on Finland, while Sweden beat Latvia 5-1, and with that, they will get the United States next. Over here, the Edmonton Oilers have loaned forward Matt Savoy to the Bakersfield Condors. He has 9 goals and 18 points in his first full NHL season and will play Friday night against Calgary. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Get ready to love your home, Canada. The Brick has the styles and the savings to make you fall head over heels. Save $1,100 on couches made for cuddling. Enjoy a romantic meal and a dining set up to 25% off. And yes, save 25% off in the bedroom, too. Plus, score up to $1,500 off the TV of your dreams. Love is in the air, and so are the savings. Only at The Brick. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick in South Common, West Ed Mall, Northside, and downtown.
If you're selling a vehicle, Sherwood Honda really wants to get your goat. We mean greatest offer of all time. Consign with Sherwood Honda, and they can sell your vehicle for you. All breeds, makes, and models, not just Hondas. You can let Sherwood Honda lock horns with those tough negotiators, and you'll reach the interested buyers that flock to Sherwood Honda every day. Sherwood Honda's the GOAT of selling vehicles, including yours. So someone Sherwood...
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. This week at Papa John's, enjoy a pizza my heart thin crust for only $17.99. Order now at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, a tremendous Tuesday afternoon. Welcome back to the show, or thanks for joining us. If you're just getting into maybe to your car, listening on the radio, online at sports1440.ca. Maybe you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, Twitch. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Of course, for all of you hockey fanatics, the quarterfinals are set in the men's side of the Olympics. The women are, of course, into the gold medal game. Will be Canada-US, no surprise there. And you'll have, on the men's side, no upsets in the qualifying round. So number 8, Czechia versus Canada, number 1. Number 7, Sweden versus number 2, USA. Number 6, Germany against number 3, Slovakia. And number 5, Switzerland taking on the number 4 seed, Finland. Now, the semifinals, Canada beats Czechia. They will play the lowest seed. So they can, if they beat Czechia, they can either play Sweden, Finland, or Germany. They the 2 teams they can't meet in the semis are the U.S. and Slovakia, in case you are curious about how it works. So the games will start tomorrow. Canada's game gets going at 8:40 Edmonton time. So adjust accordingly. Many of you are likely going to want to watch it. Probably not as nervous. I think you get to the semis. You know, Canada's expected here to beat Czechia. They dominated them pretty well in their opening game of the tournament. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. Lotto Max. $55 million and 4 Max Millions up for grabs at PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website. If you missed it, the Oilers did make an announcement today. Matt Savoy has been loaned to Bakersfield, so this has some cap implications. He will be returned to the NHL team next week, and will have to play at least one game in Bakersfield. They play tomorrow night, and they play Friday. They also play next Tuesday, so we'll see how many games Savoy gets in, but he'll have to play at least one. So now we're going to unveil a new segment that we're going to do on the show every day. It's our stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction, founded in 2009. They shape and build Edmonton communities, one of the largest contractors in land development, power, and gas installation. That is All Star Construction, and we are happy to have them on board on the show. So lots of stats we're going to get to today. The first one involves hey, we like to go back in time, and this will just tell you how much things change from 102 years. So back in 1924, because Connor McDavid's had a pretty good start to the Olympics with his 9 points, and you're like, hey, it's pretty damn good. Sidney Crosby has the record. Now it's an odd record, but still, when they involve NHL players, and Sidney Crosby has the most points by a Canadian ever with 15. Connor McDavid has 9 in his first 3 games. So safe to say, if he plays in a few more Olympics, he's likely going to catch Sid. Now, the most points by any NHLer in the NHL Olympics is Teemu Selanne. He had 11. And McDavid could set that mark as well this year. He's already got 9. You know, they win this game. They get to a semifinal, 2 more games. Is he going to get 2-3 points? I would think very safe. But the one record that's going to be really hard for Connor McDavid to break is the record by a Canadian in any Olympics. Total. How about 37 points by Harry Watson in 1924? Yeah, that's right. 37 points. Do you know how he got 37 points? Because these were the scores in 1924. Canada beat Czechoslovakia 30-0. Then they beat Sweden 22-0. Switzerland 33-0. Then they got to the semifinal round and it was close. They beat Great Britain 19-2. They did give up a goal. And then in the final, they defeated the U.S. 6-1. So they scored 110 goals, and Harry Watson was in on 37 of them. Now, you do the math, that's 33.6% of their goals. Now you fast forward to 2026. Connor McDavid has 9 points already. He's factored in on 45% of Team Canada's 20 goals. Now, Oiler fans, remember how many? Oh, the Oilers are terrible, man. McDavid's involved in too many of their offense. They're a one-line team. Now, they're an all-star freaking team, and he's still in on 45% of their goals. Maybe, just maybe, McDavid's that good. And you can want your depth guys to score more, but realistically, he's probably going to be around 45, 50% of your team's offense. It's just how it's going to be. Even go back to the great years of the Oilers when Wayne Gretzky was putting up 200 plus points. They were dominant team. Look how many Hall of Famers they had. And then look at the percentage of goals he was in on. Close to 50. One year, I think it was like 55. And those were a legit good team. When you got a player that's that good, here you are in the Olympics, and McDavid so far has been in on 45% of Canada's goals. 9 out of 20. So not bad. Not bad at all. Some other stats that I wanted to share with you in regards to the Olympic Games. And then even one stat that isn't Olympics related. But we should talk about it because Norway's cross-country skier, Johan Klæbo, he just picked up his record 9th gold medal in the Olympics. Like, this guy is a phenom. He's unreal. So that's a great story. But then also, how about Lucas Brathen in giant slalom from Brazil? He became the first South American to win an Olympic medal of any sort. So kudos to him, man. Like, that's Winter Olympics. Hey, you get it. You're in Brazil. There's not a lot of snow, but here he is in giant slalom, and he gets on the podium, which is pretty amazing.
Did you say first? You didn't say South American.
Yes, first South American to win
South American. That is a lot of people.
Dude, that's a lot of people, right? He was he came in. That's a historic moment, man. That's amazing, isn't it? Think about that. Like, in the world, and hey, I get it. Winter Olympics, like, not a lot of the Jamaicans tried bobsleigh, and that's great. But and I know that they're not there. But you look at South America, and now, so think about that just for showing opportunities for everybody else to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I want to try that.
But outside of that, even the odds that someone wasn't born there and grew up in Calgary or Colorado or anywhere, and there's mountains in Brazil.
Yeah, no, there are some.
There's
for
mountains,
sure.
and nobody that skied down that mountain qualified for the last. And that's that mountain. There's lots of mountains, and that's. I mean, I'm guessing there's more in all of South America.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I should say his dad is Norwegian. And so he did grow up in Norway a bit. So he did. So there's a little bit of it, but he is he's representing Brazil at here. And I don't know if you saw his celebration when he was on the top of the podium, but he was pretty fired up, obviously. And so it is a big deal, for his mom and for his native country. But I thought we'd put that one in for one of our stats today because it never happened before.
I can't believe it. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I could see if it was the year 780 BC, we can't travel. I'm surprised. Just like in 9 months, someone didn't get pregnant. 9 months later, they live somewhere else and they fall into the Olympics to be the first medal ever from a whole part of the world. I don't know how many countries, but a continent.
Yeah.
My God. I never heard of that.
One final stat, because we're going to go with our stats today. We'd like to cover lots of different stats across the board. Our final stat of the day today, brought to you by All-Star Construction, is Scotty Scheffler, who shot a final round 63, and he got his 8th consecutive top 4 finish. So that ties Tiger Woods for the longest such streak in golf's modern era. 8 consecutive top 4 finishes. Scotty Scheffler, guy's not bad. Now, he finished 2 strokes back of Colin Morikawa, who birdied the final hole to win by a stroke and win his first PGA Tour victory since 2023. Then announced afterwards, if you saw it, that him and his wife are expecting their first child, so he's pretty fired up. But any of you golf fans, Scotty Scheffler, the next time, his next tournament, if he finishes top 4, Tiger Woods never did that. Tiger Woods pretty damn good. So if you're doing something that Tiger didn't do, you're like, all right, maybe you're onto something. So there you go. There's some stats of the day brought to you by All-Star Construction. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that segment because, anybody who listens to the show knows that I like to look up lots of different stats and different things. And, usually lots of positive ones, which is just fantastic. Hey, guys, I have to admit, I'm surprised Argentina doesn't have a Winter Olympic. Yeah, well, that's a fair point, man. It's a very fair point. So That's true. Well, TR almost fell out of his chair over there.
I'm astounded. I'm astounded. I would think there's people from, I don't know, the Congo that got Winter Olympic. Just people move. They travel all over the world, and we're just in an era of globalization. I'm really astounded that, and the Olympics, every 4 years, people are forced to get together, and it has never. Yet again, I could see it if it was 1,000 years ago. I'm absolutely astounded. That's the craziest stat I'll hear all day, all week, all month.
I want to say a shout out to our guy Kendall Baker, because Kendall was the one who put me onto that stat. So Kendall from Yahoo, he has lots of good things. And the other thing, I don't know if you saw Anthony Kim's comeback story on the Live Tour. TR, the guy had battled some serious,
man, I was surprised he's golfing again. Sorry to cut
serious drug addiction, and for a long time, and battled back and won, and good for him. Like, there's a story of perseverance, and like, man, drugs are no joke for any of the kids out there. Like, that is, and it can ruin your life for sure for a long, long time. So hopefully, he'll probably be a guy that's going to share. I'm looking forward to reading kind of an in-depth story about the struggles of it, because, a lot of times we say, oh, you're addicted to drugs. We're not, I think as humans, we're not really wired to always want to think the worst. That's why we're so terrible as a society for, I think, disciplining and convicting pedophiles and rapists, because it's too awful for people to have to visualize and listen to and hear what these creeps actually do to another human being. That's just a fact. Like, we're not wired. People don't want to hear it. So they're like, well, geez, if I can roll that. Oh no, they wouldn't do that. Oh, like, think about what we've done in our society where, everything's sexual abuse, because sexual abuse doesn't sound as bad as rape, right? When you think rape, you know what rape is, but sexual abuse, well, that could maybe he just tapped her on the behind, right? Like, that's what because you try to weaken it. And so, you just look at what our society's doing right now. You've got a bunch of real powerful people, and they're trying to do everything in their power not to be exposed for the creeps and the pedos that they are. And so hopefully that doesn't change. And so, you know what, really in a lot of different ways, we try not to focus on those type of things, because we'd rather not be reminded of just how awful it actually is.
I agree with you, man. And people keep distant, but it's still facts that are going on. And sometimes when they penetrate society, it might be uncomfortable to talk about, but I don't know. Over the course of history, usually, and at least in my lifetime, things like Theo Fleury and Sheldon Kennedy coming from. I mean, it's poison to hear. It's terrible, but you got to think that they changed it for somebody else that came after them. Same thing right now, right? We're going through this and seeing how things play out. Sexual abuse is not a funny thing. It's unfortunately, though, it's very frequent. It happens. And now, obviously it's dominating the news in some parts of the world, but that's it. You got to go through, and whatever happens, you hope that it paves a way for future people that either go through it and can deal with it better, or just don't have to go through it at all, because of the groundbreakers that have come before them.
Yeah. So, and I do really think that, Anthony Kim, I look forward to his story, because you can be down in the bottom. And he clearly was, right? Like, a lot of people thought he had ruined his career and ruined his life and family and his own personal life too. Like, you get addicted to drugs, man. It's no joke. And
it's no joke. Brant Myers is out there, man. Read his book. It's an Edmonton crowd story to cut in, but I really, really believe this. I know it's in the news. I don't know if you saw Shia LaBeouf, right? He went on a bender he's been sober for a long time. That's what it does. Look at those videos. That's what it does to people. And some people can't handle it. They're addicted to it, and it's a real disease. My favorite book ever dealing with it is Painkiller by Brant Myers, who's doing awesome.
Well, I can tell you, one of our family friends, Jill, she took her two teenage daughters when they were, I think, 17 and 15, and they volunteered at the downtown at the Boyle Center, and you're serving lunch and stuff like that. Because as a parent, sometimes, you tell your kids, hey, don't do drugs. But, it's like, man, mom and dad are idiots. They don't know what they're talking, because we've all been there as teenagers.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah. And she said that the people that they served, a lot of them who were addicted to drugs, and you see it, like, because I think when we visualize addicted to drugs, like, you can see Anthony Kim's face looks a little bit different and stuff. And it ages you, and it can do harm to you. But she said the best thing was taking her daughters there because they saw and they heard the firsthand. They saw these people and they're telling, do not do drugs. Do not be like me. And like, it really kind of got like, they were on a pretty good path anyway, but just, it was like, oh my God, like, okay, I see what it can do to you. And it was a great reminder. Once my son's old enough, we're doing it, man. And then like me and my buddies have volunteered there beforehand to serve the breakfast. And it's a really good thing. You want to help some people that are kind of down on their luck. And, it's always good to help our fellow humans. But I do think it's important to see a guy in sports, but Anthony Kim, his story. And I hope they, you don't glorify drugs, but you got to talk honest about it. And I really hope that Anthony Kim, now he had success, that he can look and say, I got a platform here that I can really use to inform people on just how dangerous and how ugly it can be. And luckily for him, he's able to come back. It doesn't mean that he's over it. He's still, when you're an addict for life, like I know we have a lot of listeners and guys text in, they're open about, they were alcoholics or drug addicts and they, now they're in recovery, which is awesome. But, you can't just suddenly say, well, now I can drink again. Doesn't really work for most people. Right. So, you mentioned Shia LaBeouf. So I'm fascinated to see a story, and I hope we see one on Anthony Kim because I'd love to see his journey. It's great to see the end comeback result, but it was also important to see the awful fall from grace and how long he was there. Because it's not like he was, he had a 1 year, man. Geez, I went in some benders for a year and stuff. No. He's been out of the game for a long, long time. And a lot of people never thought he'd come back.
And we were talking earlier about focus and determination for him to come back from that. Now, I'll add something to this. Remember earlier I was talking about how hard it is to come down that mountain and all those, if you're doing the mogul skiing, for example, right? Let's just take one. You look at those people come down and we realize it's right there. You can see the focus and mental adversity and everything and physical adversity that they've had to deal with. Now imagine doing it as an alcoholic or a drug addict, because it happens. They had those things in, as did Mr. Kim. And they battle that while they're going through life and whatever it is they're an expert at or trying to be, right? It must be crazy for the mind, and to know that you can't stop, otherwise. That's why, like, I'm very, very big on this. If you're listening, if there's anything great about our era now, I know is when it comes to sports, and way more people, at least in hockey, that's what I can speak from, not the other sports, but people are way more open and ready to talk. And it takes people like Brant, and Curtis Gabriel's another one. I've had him on my pod a few times, and he's doing great things, as are a lot of other people that have gone through it. I just think it's real important, because when I said I was one of them, I didn't mean the parent talking to the kid. I meant the kid saying, come on, give me a beer. What's the big deal? And then I saw it for real. And then my grandfather took me down when I was about 8. I said 18, man. I was probably 12. There's where the memory is. I had to be, because he took me there, and he died when I was 15. But I went down, man, and a guy had crapped himself, and it was the worst. I don't know where he took me, man. It was like a halfway house kind of thing. Yeah. And it was to help at Christmas time is what it was. We took down a bag of clothes and everything. And I've never been more, at least as a kid, more shocked by something that I saw. And I didn't know that even the extremes got that bad. And then, of course, you get older and you see, and your friends go through it, and you hate to see it, and you hope that you're not affected. You cross your fingers and you try to help. That's it. If you need help, just reach out. People are there.
Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you, Sports 1440. We will take a quick break. Struddy will join us next. We'll talk about defense as we get set now for the playoffs, and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Your furnace is dead. It's time to replace it before winter crushes you. Legacy Heating and Cooling is practically there already. Yeah, we're working in your basement, doing a replacement. The work is so earnestly, Building your legacy. With no payments and no interest for 1 year, you gotta call Legacy. Replacing your dying furnace before it's too late? That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
On the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave you with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
It's like a locker room, minus the snow.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, junior chicken, or chicken snack wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.431. We continue on Tuesday afternoon. You know what? Now I will admit, like the first qualifying round games of the Olympics for the men, and we're kind of like whatever. Like I expected Canada to win, but now you're like, hey, because if you lose, you didn't matter. People lost every game; they still got a chance officially in the playoffs. And now we're into the quarterfinals. Tomorrow, 8:40 Edmonton time. If you want to get up earlier, you can even watch some of the other ones. Good luck for those of you super early risers. And the first game gets going at 4:10. But Czechia and then Canada will either play Sweden, Germany, or Finland after that. And then who knows? In the final, hey, selfishly, I'd like it to be Canada, US, and then just kick their ass. God, that'd be great. Hope it happens. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Might put down a few shekels on a Canada US game. I can tell you that right now. We do have some special Jason Gregor show bets at Play Alberta with some odds boost for you. And while you're there, remember Lotto Max $55 million. PlayAlberta.ca. It's time to get to Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical. You've been thinking about it? You want to get solar on your home? You can start savings, get some grants from the federal government at more. ActionElectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
It's the memories. That's what you remember. Memories. It's a bouquet of enjoyment coming in my mouth there. But it's like I always say, HK, who cares?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, good afternoon. How you doing?
There he is. I'm good. I'm already asleep. I'm getting up for the first game. 4:00 tomorrow morning, buddy.
Well, you are an early riser anyway, Struddy. Like, what are you talking about? Like this, you probably will get up for that 4:00 game. You're like, oh, I got to get in there and, do my workout.
I can't. Every morning I've been getting up early and early. Like, it's 5:15 now because of the Olympics. I want to get in and watch. Like, this morning I caught some pursuit, some curling, biathlon. It's pretty awesome when everyone else is sleeping. You get to watch these.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, any event that you've taken notice with that you like the most other than hockey?
I'm really into the ladies curling right now. I don't know, it's Rachel Holman and her team. I'm just fired up. There's something about that group. The pursuit was pretty awesome today to watch that. But they're all pretty good. Even biathlon. I'm a pretty amateurish cross-country skier to see them move like they do. My stride doesn't look exactly the same, but similar. But pretty amazing. Like the highest levels, how easy they make everything look.
Yes, no, that is very true. Struddy, if Josh Morrissey's in, is Sanheim comes out, but would you play Morrissey right away back in your top four? Are you playing Theodore? What would you do?
Yeah, it's hard to tell from this distance because I didn't see him in practice. But what's when I was reading, he was moving a lot better, today than he was in recent days. So, yes, I would put him right back in there. He knows his body, but it's a mature conversation you have with him. Like, hey, man, where are you at? And coaches have those all the time. Like, just be honest with me. Are you able to be the level he wants? And then you'll be able to tell pretty quickly. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like Czech is good, and they're probably better than they showed in that first game. But, Canada should be fine. So you're kind of building for him to be ready for 3 games from now, if that makes sense.
TR?
Struddy. If the same question, if Marchand, where would you put him? I mean, you put him in the lineup likely. And who you taking out?
Well, I haven't loved the McKinnon line yet. And I think that's maybe a bit unfair, but I think Sid's line makes sense. Connor's line makes sense. The fourth line is, with Bo Horvat anchoring it. So, do you dare put him beside McKinnon? I mean, can he keep up? He's a pretty smart player. Would that make sense? Now, again, probably the next couple of games, it doesn't really matter, but I might take a look and see what that looks like as you move a little closer towards the final, because, not that line's been bad, but I haven't seen McKinnon be McKinnon yet, and that's what makes it hard.
Those games, I mean, you've played them in your life, whether it's the Spengler Cup, the Memorial Cup, whatever, against France. They're just like, they're gimmies, and they create bad habits. It was tough to see. It's tough to grade 3 games that are pretty much gimmies. The last one was the biggest gimme. How do you approach that going in now? If you're, let's say, your defense, you're young, you're on Team Canada, you're heading into the game. Does it affect you at all? Do you second guess yourself? Do you just go hard? Like, how do you approach that situation?
Well, these guys have all been in big moments, right? They've all been, whether it's in junior or pro or whatever, world championships like you talked about, they've all been in pretty big moments. But I think the big thing is just to get your legs underneath you. And that's what I didn't play in the Stanley Cup, but I played in some decent games. And you're like, hey, let's just get myself underneath and do what I do really well right away. So it's a quick first pass. It's a physical play, maybe shut down a line rush. Boom. Now all of a sudden I'm in the game. If you're trying to do too much and then you're unable to find your game, well, now you got a problem because now you're chasing that game. So, whether you're Connor or Morrissey or, maybe probably Sanheim's out, but just get into your rhythm and your game as soon as possible.
Struddy, looking at the men's side, I think a lot of us feel Canada's the favorite. Doesn't guarantee they'll win, but they are definitely the favorite. Now you got Sweden taking on USA. Now I know you played in Sweden, so you probably feel you're part-time Swedish guy, or maybe you will have like a name somewhere in the Swedish Division II historical books. But what do you make of some of their decisions? Like, why the hell was Forsberg, like, why did it take him 3 games to be like, hey, Forsberg should play more than 7 minutes a night for us? Hedman and Karlsson have played together for years, and they're unreal. But this coach was like, no, I'm playing Rasmus Andersson with Hedman, until he realized Karlsson and Hedman are better. He's made some real odd decisions where it seems like he's like, you know what, I'm the coach, and I'm going to do better, and I know more than what the NHL guys do. It just seems odd.
When I watch them play, like, they seem disjointed, right? They're not, they don't seem like they're together. And I think one of the advantages that those teams have, those European teams, that a lot of those guys have played together, like you're saying, for quite a while in the past. And there's some of that in Canada, but those international tournaments, those guys rally, they go back and they want to do it. Even growing up, they're playing with each other. So there's a history there. So you're right. I think this coach has kind of been, I don't know if he's trying to prove a point, but I don't know if you need to reinvent the wheel. Like, if 2 D-men are working together, why am I changing it up? I already know it works. Like, just imagine to compare it, if all of a sudden now, John Cooper decided on breaking up Taves and Makar. Like, what? Why are you doing that? That doesn't even make sense. Like, they're together. That's what they do. They know each other. So you want to try to have that as much continuity in your lineup as possible, especially when it's worked in the past. And I think that's one of the things we're seeing with Canada's team is, like, the Four Nations, they didn't change a ton of players. And the guys they brought in have been upgrades in a lot of ways. So I think that they're able to keep some of it together. And the best part is the 2 guys they brought in to play with Connor, it seems to be working, which is probably the most important guy to make sure he's organized.
Yeah. What did you make of, McDavid and Celebrini? And obviously, Celebrini's been great this year, but he is fit in so well with Connor McDavid, doing it on the wing where he doesn't even play. Like, he's 19 years of age starting. Like, it's pretty impressive. I think Celebrini's quickly becoming a lot of fans who aren't San Jose fans. Like, geez, my favorite player on another team is Macklin Celebrini.
Well, he's been hidden, right? He's been hidden in San Jose, and it's only his second year. And, playoffs are a lot of times where people discover great players. And, he's trending, I guess his team's trending there this year. But this is a huge opportunity. And I loved the other day when he got that penalty shot and he went right out there and just boom, boom, backhand, forehand, under the arm goal. See you later. Like, he was so confident. So he's a likable guy. I don't know if you guys have ever looked on he and Will Smith's Instagram. Like, they're hilarious, these guys. They're really funny. They do a lot of funny things together. And they're like, my daughter has shown it before, and I really like it. So I think he is quickly becoming one of Canada's favorites.
Let's quickly switch to the Oilers. So they'll be back on the ice tomorrow for a practice. They had an optional one today, and I hear it was pretty well attended. It was at 2:00 when we started the show. They moved Matt Savoy to the minors. It's a cap thing. He's going to play a game. So my question to you, Struddy, is Matty Savoy down in the minors. Josh Szymanski is playing quite well. Savoy's going to come back up. Would you make room for Szymanski if you're the Edmonton Oilers, or do you wait until after the trade deadline?
Well, what's going on with Adam Henrique? Like, what's his timeline? How does that affect this whole situation?
Well, they're doing this. Henrique is going to be, they got to activate him next week. He'll be ready to play for the first game out.
And so would there still be space then to have Szymanski and Henrique on the team?
No. They'd have to make another move later. Szymanski's already on the minors, right? So they'd have to move out some stuff.
Yeah, then I mean, I don't know. I think Szymanski's been a great story, and he's looked pretty good in Germany. Doesn't hurt playing beside that guy quite a bit. That guy being Leon Draisaitl. So, listen, I saw Savoy going down. I was like, it's got to be for cash. They've got to sort out this bottom 6 as far as what the lines look like. It feels like they don't have a third line center right now, or at least he hasn't presented himself as such. Now, Henrique's missed quite a bit of time. Does that help him or hurt him? Like, I don't know. Can he play there? Maybe he can. He did a couple of years ago, but I haven't seen enough from him this year to suggest that's the solution, third line center. Szymanski's a rookie. Trent Frederick, was given a lot of opportunities to do different things, and he's got to be better.
So I don't really see who the option is. So is it by default Szymanski? Because I see a lot of guys who are probably more suited to the fourth line center than the third line center right now.
Oh God, yeah, 100%. I think that I still think the third line center strategy is going to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins when it's all said and done. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, I could see that happening. Then you go out and get a winger to figure it out, and hopefully some winger with some size, because they're not the biggest group. You know, when you look at some of the guys I have in Savoy, and whether it's Ike Howard or even Hudson, a younger player coming in, Mangiapane is not a big guy. So they could probably use some size on the wing. And the guy I wanted in Buffalo is probably not going anywhere because of how well they're doing now.
DR?
I want to ask both you guys. It hasn't been talked about. I'm astounded that something that happened on the ice, nobody's talking about it. We were told no fights going in. There's going to be no fights. There can't be fighting. They're going to be suspended for 38 games. Their career's going to be over. There's no fights. Wilson, there's no fights. No fights. No fights. Am I off base? And I thought, what is happening right now? When he dropped his gloves, I said, he's gone for the tournament. I figured, oh my God, I've been there. You lose your mind and you're like, oh my, he just played into everybody. Why did you take him? He took a stupid, why did he fight? He's going to be thrown out. Don't take Tom Will. And it's turned into either a one-off nothing burger, or people are going, yeah, man, it's great. He stuck up for us. So how much fighting can we do in the Olympics? If we're playing USA in a few days and it's 5-2 in the third, can I just grab Tkachuk, kick the crap out of him, and then play the next day?
Well, there won't be a next day, so it won't matter. So yes, you could do that.
Well, it could be the semis. Okay, wait. No, sorry.
The gold.
Yeah. Okay.
So how it works is, and it's very true, but lots of people, there's lots of things that get presented that are incorrect. And even some of them come from national media, and then everybody spreads down. So the NHL and the IIHF rule book is a lot closer now than ever used to be in the past. Now, if you fight, you're just kicked out of that game. Now, in order for it to be a suspension, they can look, and you would have to, like, let's say you punched a guy and then he's down, you'd have to do something pretty cheap to be suspended for the next game. It's basically just kind of like, if you fight, you're kicked out of the game in the Olympics.
Like
whereas
Junior A in the 90s.
Yeah. If you fight at Four Nations, you're not kicked out of the game. That's the difference, right? So we're unlikely to see two guys square off the opening face-off because they're like, well, now I don't even get to play the whole game, right? So that's the difference.
But if I'm on Draisaitl's team, if I'm on Germany, and I hear him chirping at me like he did Draisaitl before the game, and we're losing, I can just grab him, kick the crap out of him if we're winning, and just come back the next game and play. That's good to know. Well, I'm not going to ever be in the Olympics, but it's good to know.
Well, it would depend, like, TR, if that's just an instigator and you go out of your way and you grab the guy and you start suckering him, well, then no, you're going to get suspended.
Yeah.
Right? But in this case, it was two guys who were willing, right? Like, they're looking at each other, you want to go, and they both went. So the suspension would come from doing something like you just grab a guy from behind, spin him around, start feeding him his lunch, and then you'd be like, what? Like, no, that would get you, by the IIHF, that would get you suspended. Now, did you notice that France suspended their own guy?
Yeah.
Right.
That's insane. That's insane. I was just going to say that, Greg, that he got suspended. That is insanity. I just don't understand why they do that. Like, are they trying to prove a point? Like, we don't believe in that kind of hockey? Like,
yes,
that's just so unfair. It's so unfair.
Yeah. Well, I was reading some French guys are saying, supposedly this guy has a little bit of a reputation for being aggressive, and he punched a goalie a few weeks ago, and so basically they're saying that they think this is we didn't get him then, so we're waiting, and now this is the thing that they were waiting for, and that's how he got suspended. By the
played a year pro too. He
Yeah,
played
yeah.
in the Central League or something, had like 100 and something minutes in 40 odd games.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he's a big dude, right? Like, he looked like he looked like he was pretty strong, right? I would have loved to seen him, because it's funny, and both of you guys fought. Like, I know that got a 5-minute major, but there was no punches thrown. That wasn't a fight.
No,
Right.
no, it was two big guys. And I think they both didn't really know what to do. Like, are we actually doing this? Like, this is the Olympics. Should this be happening? So I think it was like, when I saw them, like, they didn't, like, they were kind of fighting, but should we throw a punch? Like, and then they kind of realized. So I don't know. I think I get it what you're saying, Greg's, about that, but to take that extra game away from your player on your team, like, I saw some reaction from their teammates. They were really upset about it, and I'd agree with them. Like, I don't think that warranted Well, didn't get it from the Olympics. So why is his federation suspending him? Seems over the top.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is a little bit ridiculous. Struddy, who's your pick? Is it going to be Canada, USA? Do you see a Sweden upset? What do you see happening? Who's going to the final?
Got to be Canada, USA. That's what we all want to see. I don't want to see. I mean, I love Sweden. I love their jerseys. I do love Sweden, Greg. So you're right about that. But I want to see USA, Canada, and you coming in. You said you'd love to see them beat them, and I agree. Like you'd love to see them rally off 5-1. But what I really want to see is that D-core against Canada's forwards. My God, that will be something to watch because Canada's forwards are deep and good, and so is that D-core. That's a dream matchup for Sunday morning, buddy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I should mention that the France guy, it wasn't even about the fight, guys, is they didn't like how he addressed the fans going off the ice. And that's what they're saying. But then I read the comments from some of the French players, and they were just like, nah, they've got a grudge against him, and they're just mad about it. But it is an oddity to see a guy suspended for that. I think they're trying to say we don't want you to be a goon in our league is basically what they're doing. So.
Well, message received.
Touche. Stridey, enjoy the games, buddy. We will chat with you next week.
Yeah, I can't wait, guys. Talk to you then.
There you go. That's Jason Stratford from Got Your Back podcast, former NHLer. We'll come back with 5 questions. Gregor, Terry Ryan here on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Remember 2025? That's so last year. But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
If you manage or lead a team, join your peers April 14th to 17th at the Banff Management Course. PA Douglas Training invites you to 3 days of immersive leadership development in beautiful Banff, Alberta. Learn how to manage conflict, motivate and influence others, strengthen teamwork and improve productivity. Proudly Canadian, PA Douglas has trained over 150,000 professionals. Registration includes 3 nights at the Banff Springs Hotel, breakfast, select meals, refreshments, and course materials. Register now at padouglas.ca.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with the Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Get ready to love your home, Canada. The Brick has the styles and the savings to make you fall head over heels. Save $1,100 on couches made for cuddling. Enjoy a romantic meal on a dining set up to 25% off. And yes, save 25% off in the bedroom too. Plus, score up to $1,500 off the TV of your dreams. Love is in the air, and so are the savings. Only at the Brick. Some exclusions apply. Check out the Brick in South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Riverside Honda. 59 years and counting is St. Albert and surrounding areas' premier Honda and Can-Am dealer. It's your dream. Ride it at riversidehonda.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Buddy, that's a good tune. Oh, welcome back. Tuesday afternoons. It's still snowing outside. Holy cow. Got a lot of snow here. How many of you thought for a second, maybe the hard part of winter's gone? Then boom, all of a sudden, Mother Nature's like, wait a second. I spent, no joke. Because I had a big, there's been, been cold and hot, so I had all this ice. And I spent over 2.5 hours chipping ice off just a walkway on the sidewalk because you don't have some jabroni who wants to sue you because they slip on the ice. And I spent 2.5 hours. Then I come in and I'm like sweating. I'm pissed off and I broke my few things on scraper and everything. Come in and my wife's like, oh, how was that? I'm like, pretty damn hard work and sweating. She goes, oh, well, it's going to snow like 1.5 feet. I'm like, you could have told me that beforehand. Because then I might have just left it. And then because once you have the snowpack on it, now it's not slippery. Oh, like it wasn't that rattled her. I was kind of joking. I'm like, well, that's information I could have used a few hours ago. Because I got it to the point, like I went and got hot water TR because there was some of it's very thin ice in some areas that I couldn't ship. I'm like, this is losing my mind. So I put towels around it and then I poured the hot water in it so it melted and then I swept it off just so it was gone. And I'm just like, all that for nothing.
Oh yeah, I've been there, man.
Oh,
it's so frustrating. You just did it all. It's not, and it's completely undone immediately when it starts snowing.
Information I could have used a little sooner. That's all I knew right there. Anyway, let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, where, hey, save you more. That's what they do. It's a final day for you. If you want to love your home, stop in at South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side, and downtown, where you can get 25% off furniture, $1,500 off big screen TVs at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, questions courtesy of Connor Halley. Question number 1. Canada check you tomorrow at 8:40. What is your official prediction for this one with a bold prediction as well?
Official prediction is 6-1 Canada. Bold. McDavid 5 points, Celebrini 4.
Oh, geez. All right. I am going to go with Canada's victorious. I'm going to say 5-1. And my bold is that Mitch Marner scores a goal. Mr. Apple gets a goal for Canada.
Question number 2. How many games would you give Matt Savoy down in Baco?
Good question. So he has to play at least one. So they play tomorrow and they play Friday. Now, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe he flew down there tomorrow. He's had 2 weeks off. You know what? I'm going to play in both games. That's what I would do. I know they only have to be one by the NHL rules. When you send a player down before you recall me, has to play at least one. So they play Wednesday, Friday, then they don't play until next Tuesday. I think by then maybe they want to recall him. We'll see. But I'm going to say, and I don't even know, I'd have to look at the timing of, when they activate Henrique, salary cap, everything, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to say he plays at least 2 games.
Yeah, I hate to keep agreeing. I say the same. And if I was him, I'd want to. I don't like all this time off. I'd want to get my feet wet down there, get going. And so I think it can only help the team and the player. There, 2 games.
Question number 3. Which Canadian has been the best story for you in Italy?
My favorites. Well, Megan Oldham, that's there. The King, like watching that, and Macklin Celebrini. I know you asked for one. I'll go with Megan because I think she's the first time 2-time free style winner, I believe. Yeah. But 24 years old, still got a future, and an intriguing athlete from Ontario.
All right, I'll go with someone different. I'm going to go with Courtney Saros. She has 2 silvers and a bronze. Anytime you get 3 medals at one Olympic Games, pretty excited about that. So I will go with her. But yeah, the King. It's hard not to like what he did.
Question number 4. According to reports, Tiger Woods won't rule out an appearance in the Masters this year. So how much do you think he adds to the annual event these days?
I think you know what? Obviously, he's one of the greatest golfers ever. Probably second greatest golfer ever. So when he's around, if he comes in, I think the fact that if he only does a few events, it adds some intrigue. I don't need it to be, hey, well, once he's on the course, great. But you don't need to be showing Tiger Woods like, do I think he's really going to compete? Probably not. It's hard to do, man. It's hard to compete when you're fully healthy. Never mind all the surgeries and everything he has. So I think it helps, at the Masters for sure. The Masters is set up where he could have a Cinderella run. That's the track. He knows it very well. It plays perfect to kind of where he's at this stage of his career. So, if he could somehow be in the running on Sunday, golf would love it. The nostalgia fans would love it. So we'll see. I think he can still add a lot.
Yeah, I'm not as excited as you are. I think it's all plateaued, and it's just going to be here on out. This is the body that Tiger Woods used to play in. I don't think he's going to win anything, and he goes to events. It's great. He's
I don't think
arguably he's the best ever, and he'll add that. But I think he'll always do that. He could be 90. Correct me or sorry. I'd love to be wrong on this. I'd love to see him win. I don't even think it's remotely possible. But who am I?
Question number 5. Joseph Gordon-Levitt turns 45 today. Do you have a favorite piece of his work?
So if it was which movie I like the most, it would be 10 Things I Hate About You, which is, I'm not sure if people know this, but I really got into Shakespeare that way. It's
Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah, The Taming of the Shrew. A lot of people, my daughter, I rewatched it with her. She liked it. She didn't realize that. So maybe someone listening can learn that. But my favorite performance, I loved Looper. It's one of these movies never gets talked about, but it's a dandy of a movie, man. It's one of it's one of my favorite of its kind, and it's kind of lost in the shuffle. But check it out, Looper.
The movie that I found interesting was Snowden with him. I'd heard all the stories about it, and I was kind of like, all right, I thought he did pretty well in that one. So I will go with Snowden. 50-50 was also was pretty funny with him and Seth. So yeah. Very different characters in those two movies. I'll tell you that. What about you, Deck? You got an answer?
Yeah, I mean, not exactly De Niro's catalog, but I liked Halloween H2O. 20 years later from 1990. It was one of his first appearances in movies. He gets killed in like the second scene he's in. But you know me, big horror movie guy. So yeah, Halloween H2O.
Really? All right. I like it. TR, are you going Canada, US, or could Sweden upset you? Do you see any upsets?
Yeah, I think so. I know everybody wants to see Canada, US. I'd like to see US lose 10-0 to Sweden. I don't need that matchup. I just want US to lose. I have heard enough yapping, and I just whack them over the head with my stick at this point. I don't want to hear any more out of the Tkachuks. It's all good. It's all good. I really respect the way they play, and when they're off the ice, they handle themselves well. I'm sure I would probably get along with Matthew Tkachuk as soon as he entered the room. But in this particular, after I heard what he said to Leon, not playing up to Edmonton, but it's just, okay, give it a rest. It's the Olympics. Just lose, get out of my face. That's the way I feel about it. I don't care if they play him in the final. I just want US to lose.
Oh, all right. I like that. You know what? Funny. We got a lot of texters with a similar mindset. They're like, guys, I get Canada beating USA, but USA losing to Sweden, not even get a medal, even better. Oh God. Oh yeah, that's probably fair. I can get behind that. I wouldn't have an issue with it. There's something gotta be cathartic to just see them smack around the US another game. Gotta be awesome. So, because I think I think Canada is like, they're loaded right now. This, as good as the Four Nations team was, I think this team is better. So we'll have to see. It'll make some intriguing hockey. There's no doubt about that. TR, stay warm. We'll talk to you heading into the semifinals.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Declan. Thank you, Edmonton. Talk soon.
There you go. That's TR joins us Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let's get to Declan Kruger now with a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC, where you can fall in love with Buick. For the month of February, you can lease a 2026 Buick Envision all-wheel drive with zero down and only $265 bi-weekly payments, which includes GST. Shop now, northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Canada picking up their third gold medal at the Winter Games as the women's speed skating pursuit team got past the Dutch in the final. In curling, the Canadian men defeated Great Britain 9-5 to secure a playoff spot, while it was Homan's rink defeating Sweden 8-6 and will meet Italy tomorrow. Canada meeting Czechia in the quarterfinal after they beat Denmark 3-2, and Leon and the Germans beating France 5-1. They will get Slovakia up next. Swiss shutting out Italy 3-0, advancing to take on Finland, while Sweden beat Latvia 5-1, and they will get the United States. Next, over here, the Edmonton Oilers have loaned forward Matt Savoy to the Bakersfield Condors. He has 9 goals and 18 points in his first full NHL season, and he will play Friday against Calgary. In hour number 4, the Jason Gregor Show will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Derek Van Diest of NHL.com, as well as here another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brav and 118th.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Mr. Rooter gets a colonoscopy.
All right, Mr. Rooter, just relax. We're almost finished.
Now, what am I looking at on the screen?
That's your large intestine.
Wow, the pipes of the human body. Incredible. This is just like when we use a camera for sewer inspection, except you probably don't find tree roots.
You'd be surprised what we find.
You know, once I found a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Hey, me too.
For a plumber who values healthy pipes, call Mr. Rooter.
A huge thank you for making Sports 1440 the most listened to sports radio station in Edmonton. From Gregor to Curious to Low Tide, we've got in-depth analysis on all your favorite sports. We are Sports 1440.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Get ready to love your home, Canada. The Brick has the styles and the savings to make you fall head over heels. Save $1,100 on couches made for cuddling. Enjoy a romantic meal and a dining set up to 25% off. And yes, save 25% off in the bedroom, too. Plus, score up to $1,500 off the TV of your dreams. Love is in the air, and so are the savings. Only at The Brick. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick in South Common, West Ed Mall, Northside, and downtown.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.508, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show, even on Twitch. I know we get to I know the kids are on there. I've never been on Twitch, but people are there. So, hey, you know what? However you consume the show, we very much appreciate you giving some part of your day to us. So, on your way home tonight, please turn your lights on. A lot of snow out there, and your lights mean your rear lights, not just your front lights. This is where you want your rear lights. They're probably covered in snow. People can't see. Last thing you want is a fender bender right now. It's cold again, so it's going to be way more damage. So get your lights on, and it'll be better for everyone. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, instance, all in one stop. And the Jason Gregor Show special bets. You can check those out every day right on PlayAlberta.ca. We got all Olympic hockey for you to look at today. If you're liking, sadly, we're not expecting many goals except in one game. So check that out at PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time now to get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. GSA, they are hiring. They're looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. Check out gsconstruction.ca if you're looking for a career, not just a job, because they love promoting from within all the way up. Check it out at GS Construction as we welcome in from Rogers Sportsnet, Mark Spector. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Oh, not bad. For a guy who likes snow, I guess I'm supposed to be pretty happy about this.
Well, who doesn't like the snow? Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you're a skier today, it'd be unreal. I know what the local ski hills are like. This is fantastic. Snow Valley and Rabbit Hill and everyone else is like, okay, it's rock and roll. And the kids are, if you like skiing, you like sledding, come on. The only people who don't like it really are the shovelers, because I can tell you I wasn't a big fan of shoveling it. Thankfully, it wasn't too heavy, but it wasn't that light today. It was a good, because most of it came overnight. So usually I like to spread it out. Like, if it starts snowing at 10, you're like, okay, I'll get out there in a few hours. But that first shovel this morning, Spec, a little bit of a sweater.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm out at the lake here. I'm coming in tonight, but there's I'd say a good foot of snow in Alberta Beach. So I snow blowed once and I snow blowed again. So anyway, that's fun of it. If a guy was staying for a couple of days, might fire up a sled out here now. It hasn't been any good. All of a sudden it's great. So that's good for everybody.
Yeah. No upsets going on, and no real surprise. France, Italy, I don't think they had any chance. Latvia, I wasn't expecting them to win. Sorry, Spec. I know your Latvian pride there. But now we get to the quarterfinals, and I'm not sure. Maybe Germany, Slovakia, but I don't know. Sweden could do it for sure, but I would think the U.S. can beat them. I don't think Czechia is really going to give Canada a game. Do you see any upset here?
I mean, I suppose Sweden in the U.S. is an upset if Sweden wins for sure. But that's the one country that can flat out beat you. I mean, it's the Swedes are a top 4 nation. You know, they had a slow start to the tournament.
Yeah.
Is it a huge upset if Germany beats Slovakia? I mean, I get it. I know where they placed, but really in the scheme of things, is Slovakia that much better than Germany? I don't know. You know, they both have a player that's leading the way. Slavkovsky's been unreal. And those Slovaks been pretty good. Like I've been watching a bunch of their games and I love their game. They're big and they're fast and they play the right way. They're awesome. They're getting some goaltending by this Hlavai guy or whatever his name is, Slavaj. So maybe Germany wins that game. You know, I thought the Szymanski kid got a little confidence today when he popped one in, made a nice assist on the power play to Draisaitl. So that's good. It seems like he's growing a ton here in 2 weeks. So those games tomorrow will be fun. Are you getting up at 4 a.m. for the first one there? What do you think?
No. So you could get up at 6 and it's called the record button. And you know what? You don't turn your phone on. You just go to watch it and be very easy. So yes, I can see me doing that, but zero chance I'm getting up at 4 a.m. to watch that game live. But usually I wake up at 6:15 myself. So you go down there, you fast forward the commercials and the intermissions, and you can get the game in before that 8:30 puck drop anyway.
Probably be harder to figure out what channel to record than it will be to watch the game.
Oh, that's true. Well, Spec, just record one, because right now it seems they like to show hockey on all 3 at times. But anyway, I'm just like,
that's
what?
Another topic.
All the other sport, and everyone's like, yeah, but it's on Gem. I'm like, I don't care. That's not the point. You have 3 television stations. You can show, you don't need to show a women's hockey on all 3 at the same time. Give me a break. Like you could, and I know they're like, yeah, but other things are like, no. The big area had to wait. And then we missed a Canadian winning a gold live because of it. It just annoys me. Like, we're the Canadian broadcaster. The hell we showing 2 countries and not even a medal game. But anyway.
And TSN has 5 stations and Sportsnet has 5 stations.
Yeah.
And then there's CBC on top of that. So as a guy that works for Sportsnet, I don't get how, I don't even know why we need Gem, right? There's enough channels here to put something on regular TV for all of us sports people who have the packages. So anyway, I'm with you. It's goofy, but welcome to the Olympics, right?
Yeah. Looking at the Oilers, Matt Savoy, more of a cap situation today. He's sent down to the American League. He's going to have to play a game. He might play 2. They play Wednesday and Friday. And my understanding is he'll be recalled next week. Adam Henrique will be activated from LTIR. They're still going to have to make a move, though. They could just keep Savoy down for 1 game. I guess if they had to do it, they could activate Henrique. But I would think when the trade freeze, which is 10 p.m. on Sunday, Spec, between 10 p.m. Sunday and puck drop Wednesday, are we going to see a trade here that frees up some cap space for the Oilers?
Well, the one thing about when I first saw that Savoy move, I mean, the first thing you think is Henrique, but I'm also thinking that there's a bunch of GMs over there in Italy, right? There's a lot of guys there. So I thought heading into this thing that we may see some type of deals being announced as we come out of the Olympics, and we're not quite there yet. I mean, I suppose if you were
the roster freeze, you can't announce anything until 10 o'clock Sunday.
Yeah, till 10 o'clock Sunday. So, let's see. I feel like that's a very viable possibility, so and then after that we go, what is the date on Sunday? That gives us a couple of weeks till we get to the trade deadline on March 6th.
Less than 2 weeks. It's going to be 2 weeks this Friday for the trade deadline. So
yeah, so 2 days less than 2 weeks. So for sure it's crammed in between what I was just talking about, the GMs being in Milan, and there's so many guys over there, and the upcoming and pending trade deadline. There's got to be some action coming up. It's going to be a busy next 2 weeks, Jay, for sure.
Yeah, I would think so. What about, has Szymanski, what do you think these Olympics will do for him in his standing in the Oilers organization?
Well, it's funny, right? You don't know that Josh Szymanski is going to take this, he's had a successful time there. He's obviously become a guy that team is leaning on way more than anyone thought going in. So it's been a huge success. He's going to play in a quarterfinal game here tomorrow and he's going to be on the first power play unit. I mean, unless something changes, and I don't see why it would. They won today 5-1. So he's had all this great success. So if you don't give that success a chance to play out in Edmonton, if you don't keep him up and put him in a position to use what's just happened here, we'll never know. If you just send him back to Baco, we'll never know, how much, what could have happened, what might have been. Now, maybe maybe the buzz wears off the Olympics and he turns back into a fringe NHL player. I don't know, but there's certainly the storyteller in me, the journalist. I'd like to see, does he return a better NHLer than he was when he left, Jay? What do you think?
Well, I would think he is now. He technically is right now on Bakersfield's roster, right? So they'd send him down beforehand. So they'd have to recall him, and they could do it. They've got to make some roster moves in order for it to happen. But he's obviously not going to. I know people are like, oh, he'll come here and play with Draisaitl. I'm like, hey, and no offense to Germany's roster, but there's if Vasily Podkolzin was there, he might be playing ahead of Josh Szymanski, is all I'm saying.
For sure.
Also, that it's not like Germany has played teams with a ton of NHL players yet. That's just the truth. Like, when people are freaking out over Canada, oh my God, this is I'm like, hey, they're beating up France. Like, yes, they should beat France, but they're still beating up France. I'm not expecting to beat the USA 10-2, although it'd be unreal if it happened. But the thing about Szymanski is, I believe the Oilers have found a player who's going to be an NHL player. And now I don't know at what scoring rate of an NHL player he'll be. I don't like to put limits on a player. I would say, hey, he might start as a bottom six, and then we'll see where it goes. But he's big. He can skate. He's got a good shot. He's got good instincts. Draisaitl really raves about just how he thinks the game and such. And so you look and say, hey, maybe Szymanski surprises people, and down the road, he's a 3C for a really competitive team. That would be unreal. Like, that would be like huge find for the Oilers organization. And, I've watched the games in Germany, and Szymanski's really impressed me. Like, I've really liked what he's done there. And, what is that going to translate to how high at the NHL level? I don't know. But I do think it's forced the organization to be like, hey, maybe, we got to ship some guys out here and not worry about who we're bringing back in, but just make we have the cap space to bring Szymanski and his $1.4 million cap hit to the roster.
Well, I mean, I think what we'd all agree on is that he looks like he's going to be an NHL player. He really does. It's a great signing. You got a guy for nothing. You pull this kid out of Germany. He's going to play. Is he going to help you right now? Because this is a right now team. Is he? Can he? Sure. You say he might be a 3C down the road. I'll buy that. I need a 3C right now if I'm trying to win a Stanley Cup in Edmonton. So I don't know if he's that guy, and I kind of don't think he's that guy. I don't think I want to go on a Stanley Cup run and say, okay, this kid's going to be my 3C. There's no experience there. He's never played a playoff game. I don't think he's ready today for that. So that's kind of where I think we stand on Josh Szymanski. Is everyone loves him. Everyone knows thinks he's going to play, but this is a right now organization, man. There's not you're not going in with too many young kids on your. Maybe he's one, or maybe you bring him in as a winger. Maybe he can make it as a third line winger and help you out, a fourth line winger. Sure. Let's see.
The Oilers, as we get, the trade freeze ends, we know the conversations are going on for lots of different GMs. What do you think? What do you think Ken Holland's doing now that he lost one of his best guys in Fiala? He brought in Panarin. He was like, great, I finally helped out. I need another top six. And then boom, Fiala's out. He's
in a tough spot. They bring him into LA to take them from being, a perennial first round exit team to do more than that. They bring him in to get this team over the top. And then he makes the Panarin trade, which, you got to give a GM credit. Pretty good job. Brings in a big fish right away. And then he loses a winger, a key part of his team in Fiala. I would say this to you, you can bring in Panarin and that's great. That team needs centermen. That team needs centermen. Their first line center is Anze Kopitar. Hats off, total respect, Hall of Fame player, everything great. I love Anze Kopitar. I loved him a lot more 7 years ago. He's not a first line center on a cup win on a cup contending team. And Byfield right now is a 2C, and that's okay. Byfield could be my 2C. They don't have a first line center there. That's all there is to it. So can Ken Holland scratch that itch at the deadline? Oh boy, bringing in a first line center, that's a pretty tall order after you already got Panarin, isn't it?
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be tough to bring in another one. Plus, because there's no one else out there who's as good.
Hard
as
to get a first line center.
Well, first line center. It was interesting. I saw people talking about, and I don't think they would do it because people in Vancouver are like, hey, Pettersson for Quentin Byfield. But I do wonder if Vancouver is if somebody's gonna bite on Elias Pettersson here in the offseason.
I don't know. There's two things here for me, Jay. Your question is very valid. Will somebody bite on Elias Pettersson and decide that we can get the good Elias Pettersson out of the guy that hasn't been that great for a couple of years? I don't have an answer for you for that. If you're asking me if I'd bite on Elias Pettersson, the answer is absolutely not. He can't be my $11.5 million guy, my leader, my first line center. He's not a guy anyone's going to follow anywhere. He signed that big contract, came to camp out of shape. That's not just a red flag. That's a massive, massive character flaw, in my opinion. When you sign a big contract, you should come back in the best shape of your life and be a leader, right? You come back and you're not. That means you're not a leader. My guy that makes 11.5 has to be a leader. My first line center has to be a leader. My top scorer has to be a leader. He might be some of those things, but he's not a leader, and I'm not having him as my 1C. What about you?
Oh God. I still chuckle. I remember when he had the one good year and people in Vancouver were like, because they looked at some Corsi numbers like, oh, he's as good as McDavid. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Tell me you don't know hockey without telling me you don't know hockey. And, Pettersson has just, I don't know if he'll ever get his career back on track to the level he was at, but I can say this. There's any chance he does it in Vancouver. It's just, there's a lot of, lots of other things, and not just Vancouver's fault that he's heavily to blame here. I just don't know if he can ever get on track in Vancouver. And if they do trade him, it's probably a trade that he might never pan out to be worth 11.6 mil. And that's valid, but he might get back to being a 75-point or 80-point guy somewhere else. I just don't see it happening in Vancouver. It just doesn't seem like he's got the headspace to be able to recover his career there.
I feel for the fans of Vancouver. I think that project is going to have to go south before it goes north again. I don't get, I'm watching Team Canada. I'm watching Bo Horvat. He's a 4C for Team Canada. He's such a complete player. Like, he's a good, responsible, plays physical if he has to, can play with skill when he needs to, has good hands when he has to have them. He's a stand-up guy, a total leader. Vancouver had a bunch of players, and that's the one they got rid of first. That's the guy. I mean, I guess that's emblematic of an organization that made a lot of wrong decisions. Instead of they keep Pettersson and they let Horvat go. It costs them Quinn Hughes, and they're stuck with, they let JT Miller go, which is, I guess, fine, I suppose. And you keep Brock Besser, who's a support guy that's okay. Brock Besser's okay, but if that organization couldn't figure out that Bo Horvat him and Quinn Hughes were their two best guys, then they got to get some changes up in the leadership, the management suite, I would say, Jay.
Yeah, that's fair. Spec, enjoy the games tomorrow. We'll talk. Well, hey, we'll know who's in the semis by the time we talk tomorrow. So should be fun. Have a good one.
Sounds good, Jay.
There you go. It's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. When we return, we will hear from DVD. Also, Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
There's a lot of great seasons in Alberta. Hockey season, harvest season, the winter season, and the even more winter season. But GS Construction is already preparing for our next great season, because while the city slows down, we plan ahead. Projects, people, and pipelines. Everything starts taking shape for another strong year underground. We're also getting ready for our next hiring season in March. We want new people who want to build something that lasts. For more on us and to apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
McValue meals are here. Get the McD's you love for $5 plus tax every day with your choice of a McDouble, Junior Chicken, or Chicken Snack Wrap with small fries and small fountain drink. All for just $5 plus taxes. Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Get ready to love your home, Canada. The Brick has the styles and the savings to make you fall head over heels. Save $1,100 on couches made for cuddling. Enjoy a romantic meal on a dining set up to 25% off. And yes, save 25% off in the bedroom, too. Plus, score up to $1,500 off the TV of your dreams. Love is in the air, and so are the savings. Only at The Brick. Some exclusions apply. Check out The Brick in South Common, West Edmonton Mall, North Side, and downtown.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's time to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. And finally, the Saints back home. Some action. You've got games this weekend on the 20th and the 21st. So guess what that is? Friday and Saturday night, 7 o'clock on Friday, 6 o'clock start on Saturday night. You get your tickets at sgsaints.ca. So we welcome in Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Joins us. DVD, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm excellent. Did you venture out in the snow today? Did you go to that optional skate?
No. I was on Olympic duty today, so I've been watching Olympic hockey since 4 a.m. So that was my assignment today. So it's been nonstop Olympics. So the Oilers took the ice in the middle of that the Sweden Latvia game. So I was stuck here watching that game in previews for tomorrow for the quarterfinals.
Okay, you were watching the Szymanski Draisaitl show in the game.
Yes, it was great. Szymanski, he had a great game and made a great pass. I don't know if you guys have seen the solid game or seen the highlights, but great pass on the power play. It's like he knew that's Draisaitl's spot. Like they showed some good chemistry together. And then he made a nice play to pick up the rebound, played it off his skate onto his stick. And he looks pretty good. And I've been getting questions about him from those around the NHL. And hey, what's the deal with this kid? And you know what? I think this experience is going to be so good for him to go to the Olympics, get this experience. And now he has a chance a good chance, I think, to get to at least the semifinal if Germany can put everything together. There's a good opportunity to get to the semifinal and maybe come home with a medal. Who knows? But I think, today I thought Germany looked really good today. I think at times they've kind of been all over the place, but I really think they put it together today.
Yeah, well, hey, they look good. Now they take on Slovakia, who looked really good in their opening few games. Germany, if you go like best player, obviously that's advantage Germany. I think best defenseman is advantage Germany. Goaltending might be advantage Slovakia. Overall team depth might be advantage Slovakia. So it should be that of the three, like that one's competitive. I think the Sweden-USA game should be competitive, but I'm still leaning towards the USA. Some of the decisions by the Swedish coach, like Jesper Bratt isn't playing today, and then you had like Forsberg playing 7 minutes earlier. Like some of his coaching decisions have been very odd to me.
Yeah, I didn't understand the Forsberg thing. We parked him on the bench in the first game, they ended up losing. And then, it's strange. And he has his favorites, and he, goes with his favorites. And some guys, you're wondering why they're not on the ice more. But there's a lot of talent on both sides, and I'm looking forward to that quarterfinal as well. I think the U.S. is the second best team in this tournament. I still don't think they have enough to compete with Canada. But one game winner take all, who knows what could happen, right? So. But I do like the Swedes. They start out pretty slow, but they're getting better and better as they go along. And I think Sweden has met the United States twice since NHLers have been playing at the Olympics, and they beat the United States both times. But I think this is a pretty good United States team. And Sweden looked okay today. They looked pretty good. But I think, they got to get to another level, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. USA's defense is pretty darn good. Obviously, their offense is good as well. And now Sweden, it's funny. Sweden is the team, like they're kind of the opposite of the Finns in the sense that Sweden's the team, I think, that has maybe underachieved more in big moments. Whereas Finland's a team that's always kind of, hey, man, they'll give you the most of what they have. And they're never really favored to win that often, but they've won more, not the Olympics per se, but in lots of other events. And so I know Sweden did win in 2006, and that's great. But I don't know, just if you look at how many other times Sweden went in with high expectations and came away disappointed. So I don't know, maybe that'll happen again, because you think about it, like they put themselves in the spot where they're going to have to play USA and then maybe Canada, not in potentially the next round before you even get to the final, because they couldn't get out of their own division.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, they finished third, I think, on goal differential. It all started with that loss to Finland. I think that was a pretty bad loss to Finland. They didn't play very well, and you're right. There's some coaching decisions that didn't sit very well and were kind of baffling. But they are getting better as the tournament goes along. The thing with this tournament is that you grab a bunch of players, you get them practice for 3 times, and you say, get out there and play. And I think when you do that, the skill has to take over. And we saw that with the U.S. and Canada, that their skill took over early on, and now they're kind of growing into more of a team. And hopefully by the end of the tournament, you've developed into that team. And I think Sweden does have that ability, but yeah, they don't have a great reputation for coming up big in the big games. Like I know like you said, they did win this thing once, but they're always underachieving, whether it's at this level or the World Juniors. And I just think that there's a lot of pressure that comes with Sweden. And I don't think they handle it very well at times. And when you look at a team like Finland is a plucky underdog that no one expects anything out of them. And they just play hard and then see where kind of the chips lie type thing. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I thought today was Sweden's best game. I thought they played really well. But again, it was Latvia. So you got to look at the opponent here. Latvia, France, Italy. Those teams are kind of getting beaten up in this tournament. So it'll be interesting to see what they do against a really, really quality opponent like the United States.
Derek Van Diest joins us. DVD, going back to Szymanski, who's currently on Bakersfield's roster. And I know that Edmonton wouldn't have the cap space to just call him up right now because Henrik, my understanding, is going to be activated from LTIR when they return here on like next Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day, probably Wednesday, the morning of that game. But do you think Szymanski should they, when this Olympics is over, is find a way to get him on the roster?
I think so. I think he's done enough, and he's shown that he can play at this level. And I know I don't know if I was talking to you or someone else, but I think there's a player there. There's a good player there. And whoever recruited him and scouted him and said, hey, we need to sign this guy, I think did a good job because he's got really good athletic ability and he skates really well. He's a big guy. So I think he's kind of got all the tools there to be a really effective bottom six guy that maybe you can slide up in your top six and play with Draisaitl. You've seen the chemistry with him and Draisaitl. Yeah, how the owner's going to manage that, I'm not sure. They're always going to have to make some roster moves when things get going here again. But I'd like to see him stay here. I think he's earned a right to stay here, and I think it would be good for him because I think you're going to get a better player back from the Olympics that you sent to the Olympics. So we'll see what that Olympic experience does for him. And obviously, they've developed some chemistry with Draisaitl, and to have another German in the room probably helps them both. So, yeah, I think the Oilers may want to try and find a way to keep him here. And that'll mean making some moves. I think they made one today. They sent Savoy down today, and so we'll see what happens with that. But I'd like to see him stay.
Yeah, Savoy sent down just for cap reasons. So and now he'll have to play a game minimum. I wonder if he plays more than one. He could play tomorrow and Friday, so we'll see. But I would expect Savoy to be recalled next week for sure. Going back to the Olympics and decisions, were you surprised? You look at Sweden. They went with Markstrom today. Now they play again tomorrow. They're going back to back with him. Czechia went with Dostal today rather than Vejmelka. So now that means they probably got to go to Dostal, who's played every game in the tournament, back to back. It just seems like when you had the opportunity, I don't think Vejmelka is that bad. I actually think Vejmelka is pretty good. I was kind of surprised in how they've handled him. And now you're going to say, okay, we're going to go into Canada where we know they're the better team. So we know our goalies, if we're going to win, it's probably because our goalie stands on his head, and you're going to play him back-to-back games. Just seems a little odd to me.
Yeah, it is. But I think in the circumstances, there's no travel and you're playing at the same rink. And so you're going to the same place. I understand that, the analytics would come with the goaltenders and back-to-back. It's a short tournament, though. And you're right. If they're going to win, they're going to need him to stand on his head. He's going to have to be absolutely brilliant. He wasn't very good in the first game against Canada. He didn't have much help, to be honest with you. But he's going to have to be outstanding. And it's going to have to take a small miracle, I think, for Czechia to beat Canada, because I don't think, I don't think Pasternak's at 100%. He doesn't look like he's playing at 100%. And they just don't have the depth to compete. And you saw that in the first game where Canada kept throwing whatever line over the boards and Tkachuk just couldn't keep up to him. I think a lot of teams have said, this is our guys. We're going to go, even if it's back-to-back, we're going to go with one goalie. We're not going to play back and forth. And obviously he'll get to start tomorrow, but he'll have to have a big, big game, because if he's not good early, then I expect the early hook to be with them. I expect the Czechia coach to say, okay, we need this guy to be really good in our first period. If he's not, if they're down a couple of goals or they're down 3 goals, I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's a goaltending change in that game.
Well, it would be fascinating to see. So you covered all day today. Give me your 4 picks tomorrow.
Oh, 4 picks tomorrow. Well, I like Germany in the morning game. There's something about them. I thought they looked really good today, and they have to be the best player. And so the team that has the best player and they have a good goalie, to me, I'm going to go with them. The second game, Canada, I think it's kind of a blowout. It'll be kind of similar to the first time they played Czechia, 5-0, 6-0. I just think the way Canada's rolling right now and the way they're kind of coming together as a team, this is going to be really, really tough to keep them from winning the gold medal. I really like what they're doing and watching them play. And it's been so much fun to watch McDavid and Celebrini play on the same line. So yeah, I think that's going to be kind of a walk for Canada. And then Switzerland, they have a decent team, but I just think Finland's got a much deeper team. They're much better. They're much better on the back end. They're much better up front. So I think Finland will be able to handle Switzerland pretty easily. And then that last game, to me, Sweden has to play the perfect game to win. And I just think the United States is a little deeper right now, and they're a little more talented on the back end. I think the United States wins that game. I think it's closer than probably a lot of people will think. But saying that, I don't completely discount Sweden. I think if they get a break or a bounce or, Connor Hellebuyck lets in a bad goal, then they have an opportunity. But I do like the United States to come out of that game.
Awesome. DVD, enjoy, buddy. Get some sleep. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. We'll return, wrap things up. Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning tomorrow. It's a Gregor show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hello. You're never going to believe this. Booster Juice called your name today. You can get a free smoothie or acai bowl.
No way. I'm heading there now.
Oh my gosh, you and my brother have the same name. Okay, I'm calling him next. I'm hanging up.
Booster Juice Names of the Day is back. 2 names are selected each day, and if your name matches, you can get a free smoothie or an acai bowl. Watch for your name on the Booster Rewards app and social media. Must be an app member to qualify. Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with a Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
Get down to Harley-Davidson of Edmonton's VIP Spring Blowout Sale this Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 4. New motorcycles are selling for as low as $12,900. And ask us about the 1-year extended warranty on new and used bikes. Bring your buddies, because when they buy a new Harley, you get a $500 referral credit. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com. Any project, commercial or residential, when you need metal and you want it cut or bent fast, this is the place. Metal Supermarkets. Huge inventory, amazing service, and free parking. Free. That's a pretty big deal when you're saving up for something special. Yep, only 3 more payments and this bad boy's mine. And the 1, and the 2, and Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for... And maybe a little polka too. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
The place to cheer for Canada loud and proud is Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. The ultimate sports bar to watch the ultimate winter events. Not a bad seat in the house, tons of big screens, and a first place menu with something for everyone. Small bites, big bites, game night food and drink features. Cheer on Canada's team at Selly's. At all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on Tuesday afternoon. As you make your way home, please turn your lights on. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. $55 million up for grabs tonight. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca in Lotto Max and for Max Millions. And while there, you can check out the Jason Gregor Show. We always give you some odds boosts on a few picks, so check it out. Let's get to Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy. Cam is in a wheelchair. It's never let him slow him down. So he's wanted to be in radio, and now through the wonders of technology, his words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
So the idea this morning, it was going to be funny, like really funny. Light, friendly, the way curling feels. Because curling, it's not just a sport, it's a vibe. Respectful, sure, but also full of those little moments that make you smile. And hey, maybe we'll still get a laugh or two. But for now, let's just appreciate curling for what it is. A game that brings us together, one rock at a time. Canadian curler Mark Kennedy was accused of double touching, illegally guiding a stone, by Swedish vice skip Oscar Eriksson. The heated exchange, caught live, saw Kennedy deny the claim and lash out with explicit language, telling Eriksson to F off. Now, I watched the video 18 times. Kennedy's left index finger did touch the stone after he released it. It did. But tell me, please, what's the difference, the real difference of, remember now, one index finger touch on a 44-pound stone? The incident quickly went viral, drawing intense online debate. The World Curling Federation responded with a formal warning to Team Canada for improper conduct and language. Kennedy later expressed regret over his outburst, but stood firm on his innocence. This unexpected flashpoint has stirred controversy in Olympic curling. Before the Olympics began, Mark Kennedy, our local boy, told us how much it meant to him. He said he was so pleased his family was there. He wanted to experience the dream with them. But for the Kennedy family, that dream has become a nightmare. Online attacks, vicious personal jabs at his wife. The U.S. Sun even ran a headline calling her the wife of a cheat. Really? That kind of garbage only throws gas on the fire for ill-thinking online snipers. Cowards who probably know absolutely nothing about curling. They sit behind screens and tear down families. And let me tell you, my friend, there is absolutely nothing funny about that. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Hallie, Kruger, Tate. Sports 1440.
Pretty low and ridiculous. Like, pretty sad state when I'm upset in sports, so I'm going to attack the person's family. Like, ever do that? Just question yourself. What am I doing? Because you're not doing anything remotely wise. So hopefully that's never in that situation, right? You want to be mad at a player on an opposing team or whatever? Fine. Don't ever go after their family online. First of all, it's unnecessary. Second of all, it's stupid. The family had nothing to do with the actions of the player that you don't like. Nothing. So don't do it. So there you go. Before we wrap up, congratulations, Canada. We got another gold medal today in the women's team pursuit. So Canada is now up to 12 medals, 3 golds, 4 silver, and 5 bronze. Guaranteed another one in women's hockey. Of course, Canada and the U.S. will go for gold. Canada, the underdog, I think for certain. In that one, you've got the men's curling team. They've qualified for the playoffs. Brad Jacobs' team, of course, with Kennedy. They're 6-1 and have locked down a playoff spot. The women's team, huge win today by Rachel Holman. They're 4-3 now. They got 2 games left. Italy's that's a game they should win for sure. Korea is going to be a tough one, but win both, and they're locked in, guaranteed to be in a playoff spot. Lose one, and then you'll probably need a little bit of help. So we'll see where it goes there. Obviously, Canada has some other medal hopefuls and some other events coming up over the next few days. So should make for some always entertaining events. You look at, we still have opportunities. You look at Stephen Dubois in men's short track in the 500 meter. We also have Reese Howden coming up in ski cross. That's later on. You've got freestyle aerials, Canada mixed in that. The women's hockey I talked about. We also have short track Will Danjanu, who's in the 500 meter. He's looking at that'll kind of get him back on track for sure. Also, how about Courtney Saroux? She could go for her 4th medal in the short track at 1500. She's having herself a heck of a tournament. You got Ivani Bloden also in long track in the mass start event, the women's short track 3,000 meter relay team. So you know what, still a really good chance to get to 20 plus medals for Canada. So hopefully it happens. And hey, we still haven't had like a big surprise medalist yet. Be nice to get one. So something that you maybe didn't expect. I love those stories. Those are always awesome to see. So tomorrow, of course, we'll have wall-to-wall coverage here, starting the morning show with KK and the Duke, and then we'll wrap things up tomorrow from 2 until 6. Also, head down to Oilers After Team Canada and see what's up with them as they get back on the ice. So on behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson, I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Please turn your lights on. Get home safe. Let's get to Declan in a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where they're home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. Good night.
The Sports 1440 update.
As you just heard, Canada picking up their 3rd gold medal of these Winter Olympic Games. They got past the Dutch in the women's speed skating team pursuit final. In curling, Canadian men defeated Great Britain 9-5 to secure a playoff spot, while Rachel Homan's rink defeated Sweden 8-6 and will meet Italy tomorrow. In hockey, Canada will meet the Czechs in the quarterfinal after they beat Denmark 3-2. Lyon and the Germans beating France 5-1. They will get Slovakia up next. The Swiss shutting out Italy 3-0, advancing to take on Finland, while Sweden beat Latvia 5-1. They will get the United States. Edmonton Oilers news, they have loaned forward Matt Savoy to the Bakersfield Condors. Savoy has 9 goals and 18 points in his first full NHL season. He'll play Friday night against Calgary. College basketball action, number 1 seed Michigan, currently up 58-44 on 7th ranked Purdue, that is 12.5 to go in the second half of that one. And 24-1, 18th ranked St. Louis, currently down 6 to 14-11 Rhode Island, 43-37 at the halftime. One final notable score, the only undefeated team left in the country, Miami of Ohio, the 22nd ranked team in the country, lead UMass 41-36 at halftime. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen